You're sitting in
I think they're like,
All right, good morning. I'm Gene Marino, Chairman of the County Tourism and Tax. This is Heather Bradshaw. She is the leader of our tourism department. And this is going to be new to everybody. I see a lot of faces that we've seen over the years. I'm going to try to explain a little bit before we start. You'll all have about 5 minutes to speak. It's going to be done in alphabetical order. Heather will call you up. You can ask us a question, and my board is sitting all along here. These are all people. No phone, please, over there. Thank you. And so what it is, this is all a computerized system now. We've changed after all these years to try to make it easier for all the people and applicants. The application was a lot simpler, and it's easier for us. Everything is on one sheet. And we just want you to tell us what your project is and, you know, how many years you've been doing it maybe, or, and only the board could ask questions to the applicants. All right. And we have the attorney here also that he could tell me I'm not doing it right. And so start off with, this year we have 52 applicants. Okay, there's a couple that are doing 2 and 3 things, but there's 52 applicants. We have, in this book here, is 1,400,000 in requests. And right now, under our budget, we have 700,000 to give out. After we get it all done, we have a surplus fund that we might tap into if we really start needing more for important events. So with that, we'll start it all off. Heather will be calling you. Please come up to the mic, speak into it so we all can hear you.
excellent. And if I can remind the committee that there are questions that you need to answer for each applicant. So please make sure that you answer that before we go to the next application. The first applicant that we're going to hear today is the Adirondack Axe LLC. Are they in yet, Paul?
I don't see, we can move on and.
So we'll move on. If everyone flips a page, we're going to go on to the
Oh, good.
There's also seats over here. If anybody wants to come in the front. You kind of feel official.
Who was this?
We won't put you to work.
And everything, jeez. Good morning. My name is Erin and I'm part of the Adirondack Nationals. We are a 45-member voluntary club.
This is not Adirondack Nationals.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is Adirondack Axe LLC.
Okay, cool.
You can stay there because you might be next.
They're not here.
They're not here.
Let's
Okay.
flip the page. Adirondack Festivals LLC.
Good morning. I'm Brad Willett. I'm the festival director for the Adirondack Wine and Food Festival. First, I wanted to say thank you for your continued support you've shown for the Adirondack Wine and Food Festival over the years. Last year's contribution of $45,000 played an essential role in making this event not just a local favorite, but a critical driver of tourism and economic growth for our region. Today, I stand before you and kindly request an increase in funding to $50,000 for the 9th annual Adirondack Wine and Food Festival. And I'd like to explain why this additional support is crucial. The Adirondack Wine and Food Festival has become a cornerstone event for the Lake George area. Each year, we bring together over 120 of New York's finest wineries, breweries, distilleries, and artisan food vendors, all while showcasing Lake George as a premier vacation destination. Last year, despite the challenges we faced with unfavorable weather and an economic downturn, we drew nearly 6,000 attendees and generated over 8,000 room nights, contributing an estimated $3.4 million to the local economy. Based on our extensive attendee surveys, we expect that the 2025 Adirondack Wine and Food Festival's economic impact will exceed 8,400 room nights and $3.5 million. This year, we are excited to introduce new initiatives designed to boost attendance and increase the festival's impact on the community. First, we're going to continue to host the Food Truck Alley, which is free to attend and will once again take over Westbrook Road, inviting the public to experience the excitement, even if they don't attend the festival itself. Additionally, we are launching auxiliary events on the Friday night before and the Sunday morning of the festival, which is designed to increase two-day ticket sales and encourage extended stays and greater spending at local businesses. We also plan to enhance our VIP section to accommodate growing demand, offering more seating and additional restroom facilities to improve the overall guest experience. We also intend to add a VIP all-access pass this year, which would give our VIP attendees access to those auxiliary events I mentioned, along with their standard VIP experience. One of our greatest challenges in the last few years was the weather, and to combat this, we intend to provide attendees with more covered seating to help them escape the rain or heat and encourage them to attend despite these factors. Furthermore, our commitment to giving back is growing. This year, in addition to our longtime partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Southern Adirondacks, we plan to introduce 2 additional local charities as beneficiaries of the festival. This will allow us to spread the positive impact even further throughout our community as we continue to support local causes. The additional $5,000 we are requesting will help fund these new initiatives, cover the rising costs of infrastructure, event operation costs that promote extended stays, increased marketing campaigns to showcase these events, and added benefits, and ensure the Adirondack Wine and Food Festival remains a premier event that will kickstart the Lake George summer season. With this investment, we are confident that we can grow our attendance, increase our economic impact, and continue to showcase Lake George as a vibrant and thriving destination. So I hope you will join us in making the 9th annual Adirondack Wine and Food Festival our most successful one yet. Thank you for your time, consideration, and ongoing support. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those for you.
Mr. Bean?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm noticing here you're asking for 50. Your profit last year was $160,000.
Mhm.
And how much of that went to the Big Brothers and Big Sisters?
Big Brothers Big Sisters made $20,000 last year in fundraising efforts. That's through our 5% ticket sales that they made, as well as we get raffle-like items from all of our vendors that they raffle off on site.
Mr. Casito?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Food Truck Alley,
Yes.
do you know the proportion of how much local restaurant owners or from out of the zip code or?
We have a pretty decent number that are local, like
Yeah.
we had let me think here. Definitely like Taco Situation, which we see around at like the Glens Falls area. 3 Foodies and Deb. So I would say probably 30% are local directly to the zip code to Warren County.
How many vendors are there total? Am I looking at it here or?
Yeah, total we had about 130 vendors last year, and 17 of those were food trucks.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
It's still Strainer.
Oh, it's Trainer. I thought it was Mr. Bean.
I didn't change my name when I came in the door.
Okay.
How much did we give you last year?
A 45.
45. And what do you use that money for?
Primarily, it goes towards the marketing of the event to bring people in from outside of the region. So we do a lot of marketing in the greater New York City metropolitan area, Boston, Philadelphia, and a lot of that is used to bring people in from the outside. Additionally, things like our security costs have gone up, and like our tent structures for the attendees.
You have your own security?
We hire a company.
Okay. I had one more question. I can't remember. Oh, so what you're saying is you take this money and use it for advertising. Do you put mostly?
A lot of it is social media advertising.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because when we get the for-profit groups,
Mhm.
you know, they're making money, and as the chairman has said, we have a ton of people looking for huge amounts of money this year. And a lot of it's just not there. So we try to find if there's a happy medium where, we could support you, but I mean, 50,000 is a lot. When I look at other entities that come in and ask for that same amount, I see just different dollar amounts. So, but those were my questions. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Just exactly how's the $160,000 that you made? How did you use that? Where'd
Uh,
it go?
that gets reinvested into the festival for this year.
Okay.
All right, no more questions. Thank you very much.
Thank
We'll
you.
be in touch.
Adirondack Folk School.
Do you know who the first one is, if any of those people?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Terry Cerveny, the Executive Director of the Adirondack Folk School. We're located along Mill Brook, which flows between Lake Luzerne and the Hudson River in the town of Lake Luzerne, 51 Main Street. We've got 60 artisan instructors. We offer over 220 classes a year in about 20 areas of craft. Our 51 Main Street location houses a multi-purpose classroom where we can hold everything from basketry, photography, painting, soap making, clay building, music classes, cheese making, stained glass, and assorted fiber arts. We also have the Alfred Z. Solomon Woodworking and Weaving Studios located just behind the log jam at the outlets. We're currently leasing that space because we have run out of room on the main campus. We teach our larger woodworking there, like canoe building and larger furniture making. We also hold our large floor looms there, of which we've got about 5, and many other looms that we use in that studio. We also have the HHM Pavilion, and that is our blacksmithing pavilion, which is located back on 51 Main Street, where we have about 9 coal forges, 5 gas forges, and offer over 30 blacksmithing classes a year. Outside, we also have a brick oven where we do wood-fired pizza making and bread making classes. And sometimes we offer classes outside. We've got a couple of picnic tables that we use. So we try to use every square inch of what we have. We do lease this parcel from the town, and we're very thankful, certainly, for all of their advocacy and support, as well as yours. With the growing demand for our classes, we are embarking on an expansion. We are hoping to grow our main campus facility in order to accommodate this growing interest in handcrafting artisan experiences. Our catalog, which I handed out to some of the board members there, that was our 2024 catalog. We're already working on our 2025 catalog. That's our best form of advertising for the folk school, believe it or not. We usually print about 15,000, 16,000 copies. This year we printed 15, thinking we could keep the budget, in line, maybe even a little under, but we ran out of catalogs this year. So we're looking at probably running about 16, 17,000 for next year. So what we have asked the Warren County Occupancy Tax Board for is $18,000, which last year we asked for 15,000. The 18,000 would pay for both design at 5,500, and then printing and distribution at 7,500, and then another 5,000 to allow us to do some additional marketing and advertising these classes in multitude of catalogs and papers and internet activities. So lots of extra marketing opportunities. This year, we expect to land at about 1,100 students served. We think next year will be closer to 1,200. About 45% of our visitors are day visitors. 55% of our students stay overnight. We offer classes that are about, many of them half day, many also full day. We offer several that are weekend long classes and a couple that are week long or 2 week long for our canoe building. And we're looking to expand our market to be a little bit more aggressive in the Saratoga area. We're noticing that the work that we've done so far is bringing in more Saratoga folks, which we've not seen before. But we're also looking to expand further south and west into the state because those are drivable distances for lots of our students, and we're beginning to see more activity from those areas. The total budget that we work with at the school is about $440,000. So I think the $18,000 catalog is a fantastic investment for us. We distribute it also through the library system as well as many local regional businesses and schools. So thank you. I'd be happy to take any questions you have.
Any questions? Mr. Strainer?
Did we give you money last year?
You did. It was $15,000.
15,000. It says here, you anticipate working with another party. You under-
Well, I
I'm
wasn't
not
quite
sure what that means.
I know, I wasn't quite sure how to answer that, but I did want to mention that we've worked hard with some of our local businesses. Particularly the hotels in the area. So Rockwell Falls Inn, Hotopia, and Motel Luzerne have all offered discounts for our students to stay there overnight and our instructors, which is really wonderful.
Do you get any of the occupancy tax money from Luzerne?
Yes, we do. Yes. As a matter of fact,
That would be added to what you're asking for here?
what we did last year with the monies that we received from Luzerne, we held a festival for the first time to introduce our community to the various artisan experiences that we offer. And so we put a lot of their funds into the festival as another way of trying to educate people as to what we do.
So this money is primarily going to be used for the catalog?
Yes.
Do you local print?
Well, I'm sorry.
Do you use local for printing?
Do we go local for printing? Because it's about a 48, this year is probably going to be about a 56-page catalog. We've gone actually to Eagle Printing, which does the newspaper type of printing. But if you know of a local person who we could turn to who would print for this,
Put it out there.
would love it. Yeah, we'll do that this year for sure.
The 6,000 that you, thank you, Mr. Chairman, the 6,000 that was profit, how much where did that go when we're done with the year?
The 6,000.
It says it said profit or loss, we're looking at $6,000 profit from last year. Where did that go?
It goes right back into our budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you.
Thank
We'll be in
you.
touch. Thank you for coming.
Appreciate it.
The Adirondack Hot Air Balloon Festival. Adirondack Institute.
Here. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you've started already.
Okay, I'm Neil Herr. I'm the creator of Drag Queen Story Hour, the musical, a fun, family-friendly gay pride satire about how banning LGBTQ books, flags, and story hours polarizes small towns across America. Why Drag Queen Story Hour now? This year, Warren County made national news for closing Rockwell Falls Library for over 6 months. The New York Times says, forced the library to shut down. NPR, library was a casualty. The National Desk, library closes after workers quit. Think of it, we are known nationally for closing libraries. So we need a media image makeover from threatening to welcoming, exclusive to inclusive, from hate to joy. Fortunately, in the same year on the same topic, we made good news headlines in both the Post-Star locally and Times Union statewide just for a reading of this musical. And overwhelmingly, the audience loved it. By an anonymous poll, 87% said the music was melodic and accessible with few outstanding numbers, and the lyrics catchy, tight, and fit the music perfectly. Now, you and I may not agree on politics or the proper place for drag, but I think we can agree on Warren County's anti-discrimination policy, which says, and I quote, "Sexual harassment strictly prohibited on the basis of gender expression when made a condition of employment," and that applies to all vendors and public libraries. And I think we can also agree that Jake Evans, the canceled drag performer, lost his job due to gender expression, a clear violation of this policy. So it turns out this is not just a local issue, but occurs nationally 141 times a year. Violent protests. And this was violent with bomb threats, fistfights, requiring police and hospitalizing 2 employees over reading books to kids. Now, this is sad, but it's also ridiculous. And it reminded me of a Simpsons episode. So I wrote a musical about it. That's what I do. I write and produce original musicals. The last 2, Zigzag and Nearby Far Away, about Georgia O'Keeffe, grossed over $100,000 2 years ago, thanks to a generous grant from you guys. And so we can make professional shows bringing in large audiences, 34% of which came from out of county by ticket zip codes, as well as generate great state PR for Warren County. You probably also know that theater audiences spend money on lodging, dining and shopping, and cultural tourists even more, averaging $1,000 a visit. So what does a gay pride musical have to do with cultural tourism for Warren County? Turns out Drag Queen Story Hour has a built-in audience of LGBT groups from all over, curious about the show and how to respond to hate with humor. Hear what these 3 local pride groups already said about it. Happy to support it, interested in seeing it, and this looks amazing. We plan to go big on PR, spending twice as much as usual to bring in lots of pride supporters, gay and straight, from all over the state and nationally to help repair our media image and the damage done to our community. And Jake Evans, the original canceled drag performer, he has agreed to come all the way from Austin to attend, maybe dance in it. Wouldn't that make a national story Warren County could be proud of? So to conclude, which image of Warren County do you think will bring in more cultural or tourists? The national story now that bullies and bigots with bombs won? Or Drag Queen Story Hour, full of laughter, singing, and dancing in support of family-friendly free speech and big fun? I finish with a song from the show. Be who you are, children. Read what you want. Dress how you like, children. Love whom you love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Yes, sir. Mr. Strainer.
This is your first time in front of us requesting.
No, sir. 2 years ago, you gave me 10 grand for Nearby Far Away, the musical about Georgia O'Keeffe, which grossed $90,000.
Okay. What do you need the money for? Is it for advertising? Is it for promotional stuff?
Mostly, but ticket sales only cover about a third of theater costs usually. So this will be a 50,000 project. About 10 grand is PR. So we'll just bring in a third of that. So we need, I'm applying to you guys and other groups to fill in the gaps. We're certainly not making any money on it. We're a nonprofit.
Will you be getting any, it says you're going to anticipate working with another party. Is this a question that's kind of screwing everybody up?
Yeah. All that means is we need an umbrella organization to get the 501c3 status. And we've done that before, and you write the checks to them and they give checks to us.
Okay, because my bottom line is
Sure.
how much we're going to take in with sales tax and bed tax to replenish the money that we give out here. So when I ask these questions, I'm not asking to be
Sure.
mean or nasty or anything. I'm just asking because that's what I think my constituents would like to know.
It's 4 performances for one weekend. About a third will be from out of county, we estimate, from last 2 years ago, our experience. Sorry. Anybody else? All right. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
Thank you so much.
Adirondack Pub and Brewery?
Good morning, everybody. We're just coming off our Oktoberfest season, so it's fitting to be here today for this. What we're applying for, the money, I was outside hearing questions, we're looking for ROI, we're looking for return on investment. We're all about that. We invested in the Village Lake George Oktoberfest. When we started that probably 10, 12 years ago, there was a Oktoberfest at Browns and there was an Oktoberfest down in Albany. And that was about it. Now, if anyone looks at the calendar around, there's a ton of them. Interestingly enough, we've been able, over the 10 years, we've been investing in that event on Columbus Day weekend. Columbus Day weekend used to be pretty quiet. Everybody went to Gore and went to their fall festival, which is great. It's in Warren County. But if you're in Albany, is that enough to bring you all the way up here past 10 other Oktoberfests? So we've invested in it. We've basically doubled the size of it. This year, we doubled the amount of seating that we had available with, tables and tents. And also look, at the space that we had and the budget that we had. We actually hired a person, Amanda Metzner, to help us market it. And it is now ranked as one of the top 10 Oktoberfests in the country. The following weekend, we have another Oktoberfest event. And it's a fundraiser from that. Ben Osborne Foundation received over a $15,000 donation on Saturday, which was a result of that event. So we're able to not only bring people, we're able to support local charities. It's kind of a win-win. What we're coming to you guys for the first time this year to do, I grew up in Vermont. I will tell you, if anybody's driven Route 4 through Woodstock in the last couple of weeks, good luck. There's a traffic jam at every covered bridge in Vermont last weekend. Every hotel room in Vermont was sold out last Saturday. No reason we can't be talking about that same crowd that gets to Troy and heads up through Bennington, keep them on 87 and bring them here. A lot of those visitors that do come here for foliage are coming from the Albany and Northern Hudson Valley area and coming up to our area. So what we're looking for, the grant application is to improve our marketing, looking at a TV and radio spend. Probably that spend together, creating the content is about 5,000. The ads on TV, that runs about 20 to 25, and additional radio spots to bring people up is about another 10 to 15. Looking at a spend somewhere, probably a little less than that. I believe we can shave radio. So keep that budget around 30 for a media buy. And then in another, probably 6,000 to 7,000 to try to expand the weekend event. Work with the Village of Lake George to set the tents up on Thursday so that earlier on Friday, we're able to attract visitors up to the village on Friday afternoon, which is usually not as busy as Saturday and Sunday are, but also to expand the weekend after it. And really the weekend after to promote Lake George, not as an Oktoberfest event, but as a fall sort of brewery festival idea. We've been incorporating wineries, distilleries in the area. So, wineries and distilleries that have come from all over. We had breweries from about 300 miles away come up to our event this past weekend. When I tried to get some hotel rooms, 2 weekends ago, it was pretty tough. Vinny can speak to that. Even Saturday night, things were pretty busy in town. That carried over to last night. We were up about 30% last night over the year before, proving that Lake George can be a fall foliage destination hardcore. So those ads and radio spots, especially for the second weekend, would not be oompa music. It would be promoting the Oktoberfest, but also promoting the area as a fall destination. So kind of a different sort of approach to it. And you know, those, we will bring the receipts to you next year and you can see how much we spent on media buys with the money that you give us or the money, whatever you can afford to give. That's what we're planning on developing and investing it in.
Mr. Pacino.
Thank you, Mr.
Sorry.
Chairman. John, great event. You do a great job with it. I could speak firsthand for that.
Thank you.
And it really is. You spoke of the Ben Osborne Foundation. Does those proceeds come, not this event?
They come from the Oktoberfest event on the Labor Day weekend or Columbus Day weekend. All the people that volunteer at that event, we collect their hours and we pay them $17 per hour. You know, every volunteer per hour that they work goes directly towards the Ben Osborne Foundation. And then on Saturday, this past weekend, we sell tickets to the event and the profit from that event goes towards the Ben Osborne Foundation.
Yeah. Oh, very.
So
good.
kind of a combination of those two things working together.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great return here, but are you asking anyone else for Octax? Do you have an application to join in Lake George or is that just for your other events?
That we'd like to kind of maybe handle separately
Okay.
from this application, but again, depending on what happens here, a lot of the money that we applied for through the joint application process in the town and the village gets used to pay for closing the street, kind of the infrastructure. Porta potties cost us about $300 a weekend. I think we had 15 or 16 of them there. You know, so that infrastructure that goes into that, a lot of that money gets used towards that. It costs us almost $5,000 to close the street,
Sure.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And then you got Sunday, which was cold and rainy.
Yeah, and last year on Saturday, if anybody remembers, it poured rain for 12 hours straight
Yeah.
during the whole festival. So, but it still brought people to the area, brought people to town, which was great. And even Sunday that it, you know, was a cold, rainy day, you know, if that Oktoberfest wasn't going on, I think it'd be pretty quiet in the village.
Yeah.
And that tent was pretty full of people. It was surprising how well it did, but it does give, you know, if it is a rainy day, the investment we've made in tents and sides and lights and all that stuff allows the visitor on a rainy day to still have a good time inside.
So the money you're asking for would go towards advertising media, not so much for Oktoberfest, even expanding.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
weekend.
and really trying to improve the quality of the event. So, you know, there's, for us to change over the streetscape in Lake George Village and on Sewell Street, you know, we're looking at some decorations, you know, like, and I, you know, I'm not talking just ribbon and stuff, you know, some beefy, professionally made, you know, decorations so we can kind of change the streetscape.
Yeah.
And make it kind of look more Oktoberfesty. But most of what we're looking at here is really to invest in more media buys and really trying to expand the second half of October in our region, which is a pretty, you know, kind of a slower, tougher time to get stuff done. And like I said, growing up in Vermont, it is the Columbus Day weekend is the busiest weekend of the year over there. No reason that isn't one of our busiest weekends of our year here. And I think when you look at the off-season events, you know, second half of October is a tricky time to do anything. You know, but to invest in it and really try to show what the area can do. And honestly, having events like an Oktoberfest appeals to a younger crowd that may not be your typical leaf peepers, but to not discourage those typical leaf peepers from coming and enjoying a free event and having fun in downtown Lake George, but also coming the following weekend and, you know, doing other things, do this one event that we have on Saturday, but there's other things to do on Friday and Sunday also. So to try to push that second weekend quite a bit.
Thanks, John.
Any other questions? All right, thanks, Don.
you.
Appreciate you coming. We'll see you again.
Adirondack Theater Festival.
Good morning. My name is Miriam Weisfeld, and I am the producing artistic director of the Adirondack Theater Festival. It's my pleasure to thank the committee for your history of support. As you all are aware, Adirondack Theater Festival is a 30-year-old professional festival which runs in the summer and develops new musicals and plays. This year, we welcomed audience members from 20 states, Canada, and the UK, who enjoyed upwards of 1,400 overnights here in Warren County. The committee is well aware of this. What you all might not be aware of is the remarkable work that ATF has done recently to elevate our community's reputation as a unique cultural destination. And here's what I mean by that. The last time this committee awarded ATF occupancy tax funds was in 2022. Since that time, new musicals and plays developed by ATF here in Warren County have gone on to an off-Broadway run, a national tour, a production in Shanghai. Last summer, we opened our summer festival with a show that immediately transferred to a larger theater in Ithaca, New York, where an additional 1,500 audience members enjoyed a production which was billed as an Adirondack Theater Festival production sponsored by the Queensberry Hotel. And the reception in Ithaca was gorgeous. This is excellent professional work by anyone's standards. At the 2024 Tony Awards, Broadway productions showcasing the work of ATF alumni artists were honored with a staggering 41 nominations and went home with the Tony Award for Best Revival of a Musical and Best New Musical. Last month, the New York Post included Glens Falls in a list of 10 affordable small towns where you'd actually want to live and singled out ATF as one of the reasons. And just 2 weeks ago, the Times Union reported that Proctor's Collaborative has invited ATF into a 3-year collaboration to exchange creative services and help elevate our work throughout the capital region. ATF is accomplishing all of this with a full-time staff of 2 people, our managing director and myself. We are showing the world unforgettable stories start here in Warren County. We can't do it without your support. Thank you so much for your consideration.
Any questions?
Did you come before us last year and ask for money?
We did not.
So this is your first year to do this?
Since 2022.
Okay, so, and I'm not seeing it on here and it could be right in front of you. Where do you hold this?
At the Charles R. Wood Theater in Glens Falls.
Okay. So my next question is, does the city of Glens Falls give you any?
It does. We received $5,000 from Glens Falls last year.
Okay. Now it says here, it's 40 days. Did you do this? And is this 1,400? Is that an average for the 40 days or is that 1,400 per day?
1,400 overnight visitors, you mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. We have not figured out a reliable way to measure the number of overnight stays by audience members who just give us their mailing address. So that 1,400 number only signifies the people we know stayed overnight because we helped them get rooms. Those are our Broadway producing partners who might stay anywhere from 2 nights to 10 nights to artists who might stay for the entire 10-week season. We're not sure how many additional overnights we're bringing in. We're trying to figure that out as well.
Okay. So what was my last question? Oh, what is the money going to be used for? Is it promotional?
The award in 2022 reimbursed the cost of renting the Wood Theater. It could be used for that. We'd also love to be able to use some funds for additional marketing.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm looking at the revenue and expenses, and since you haven't been here since 2022, I'm not sure where these numbers came from. And then it says a profit and loss of $84,000. I'm curious as to how that $84,000 has been used.
You're referring to the 2023
I'm guessing it must be
budget?
2022. I'm not sure because I'm looking at this.
We ran the festival in 2023 as well, so that's where those numbers are from. We just didn't ask this group for occupancy tax funds in 2023.
And how is the $84,000 used, pumped back into the organization?
Exactly.
Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Adirondack Albany Weddings Total Event Entertainment, Inc. This would be for the music, the Lake George DJ takeover.
Beautiful. Thank you. So third year for us, second year asking for occupancy tax. We had this little vision a couple years ago with some partners that we were going to do a music festival with a bunch of DJs, myself being one of them, who were not festival DJs. We had a vision and we nailed it. It was in July when we don't really need events. We put it together in 3 months without any money or support from anybody. So I said to my partners, how can we make this better next year? And they said, well, we need to separate the genres of music because people in the DJ world, at least people who want to be entertained by DJ, they want a specific kind of music. So last year, which you guys gave us 5,000, we appreciate that. We moved it back into June thinking, okay, we need business in June, not necessarily in July when everyone's busy already. So we did that and we separated the genres of music with a country rock party on Friday, with a Super Kids event on Saturday morning, with an EDM festival on Saturday and a Pride event on Sunday. This is what we found. The EDM Fest across the board won. It brought the most people, the people who paid hotel rooms, who bought hotel rooms, and the majority of those people came from either the Hudson Valley or down through the New York City or out in Western New York area based on the zip codes that we tracked. So I said to my partners, how can we increase this even more? And they said, you need to do an EDM festival. So welcome to 2025. That's where we're at. We're getting rid of everything else. And in the learning process, obviously, as I've explained, we are going to do a 2-day EDM festival, Friday and Saturday. It's going to be in May this year, May 9th and 10th, which is also, from what I've done in my research, there's nothing going on in May. There's no other major big festivals that weekend that I could see. Again, in the immediate area, of course, they'll probably pop up. They always do. But this type of event that we're doing is not being done anywhere else around here. The closest one used to be New York City, and it just got to the point where we're so big, I think they just stopped doing it. I don't know where the promoters, you know, you need a backbone behind it. The next closest ones you're going to find are going to be in Ohio. Okay, or you're going to have to go down to Florida or to Vegas and things like that. So, yeah, we also did not have headliners the first 2 years. That's one thing we're doing this year. That's why the increase in the ask. We need the funds to bring in national headliners. That's what draws people to these festivals. So the first 2 years, with your support last year on the 5K, we take those 2 years together, we're at zero. We're at zero. So thank you again for that. It helped. I, as a promoter of this, do not have an interest, I know it sounds crazy, to make a ton of money. I want to produce a successful event. I want to sell hotel rooms. I want to bring people in to buy gasoline in a time when there's no one here. So if we can do that in the beginning of May and support the other businesses, that would be great. Now, what else did we change for this year? We've already sold tickets. Wait a minute. How the heck did you do that already? Just by announcing the headliners we've already contracted with for Friday night, the interest is through the roof already. We've sold rooms already. We've already contracted with a couple of our partner hotels right in the Lake George area who are like, oh my God, thank you for doing this. We have already sold stage areas. This is the key ticket, and this might be a good idea for someone else who's a promoter in the area. What I've found in managing the venue at the barn French Mountain is, again, it's a lot for anyone to take on a lot of work and try to produce an event. So I'm going to do mine, but I let other people, as you're going to hear me speak later from another group, let them come in and let them really, do what they do the best. So I said, hey, with my partners, we're going to contract with other promoters who want to do the same type of show in our umbrella. So we then turn around and rented stage areas to crews from New York City, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut so far. So they're going to bring their little mini crew festival to our festival. And by working with a bunch of people together, even though it's our event, that's how we're not only already selling tickets, we're already selling and marketing in those areas, but it's now also a partnership with them where they will be sharing in percentage of the ticket fees as well. So when we incentivize those people, I hope we found the right formula this year. Pretty sure we did. Last year, we got very little local support, which was a shame, but that's okay. Hopefully by changing it into May, we can get more local support. All of our sponsors, including national sponsors, came from Albany or Saratoga or at the national level for last year. So hoping to bring thousands of people here this year. Again, 2-day electronic music festival. That puts me at 4 minutes and 45 seconds. So go ahead.
Thank you.
I'm sorry about,
That's okay.
forgive my ignorance, EDM,
Electronic dance music. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Listen, I've
that's
not
all right.
heard that before.
That's all right.
so I have no idea what it was.
Anything from techno, EDM itself is a genre, but for the non person, we just say EDM, techno, house, garage. It's all electronic dance music.
Good to see you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Will it be vendor space? Will you be renting any?
Yes.
There will be?
Yes. It's an arts festival too.
Yeah, approximately how many spaces?
So I can do on the ranch, I can do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of spaces. What are we looking to have? We'd like to have anywhere from 50 to 100. I mean, obviously, if we can do more, we'll do more, you know, and so that would be that on the vendor end.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Strainer?
Well, you just answered one of my questions. You're having it at the Wild West Ranch.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Last year, how much did we didn't give you any
You did.
last year?
Yep, $5,000.
$5,000. Well, we've kind of upped it a little this year, haven't we?
Oh, I sure did, but we're also doing a different event. If you can see the breakdown, you'll see the headliners alone are somewhere in the 20 to 25K
Going to use the money for
headliners.
pay for the entertainment.
I mean, it'll go wherever it has to go for the event, but my main focus in getting money from the county would be to help bring in those headliners.
And how are you going to promote this to get these people here? You're not going to do any ads or anything?
Oh, God, yeah, it's all in there.
So that would be included in that price.
Yeah. Yes. All the advertising is in there. Plus, like we said, the crews that we've already contracted with from the major metropolitan areas around the area, they're going to be doing their own advertising too, because they have skin in the game now as well.
And how well did you do last year?
We didn't. Remember, no, if you remember, I said the first year we lost, I can tell you exact number. First year we lost 1,500. Last year would have been a 3,500 on the overall production, but with the 5,000, we broke even over 2 years. Not a money.
I was wondering more on number of people that showed up for the event, not
Couple hundred people. Sunday was our slowest. It just wasn't a lot of people there on the Sunday event, but the Saturday did very well and the Friday was successful. So, again, different formatting. So we're changing the formatting this year to do what is successful in other places. I'm finally listening to the partners and giving them their 2-day EDM festival.
So are you going to be asking for money from like Lake George?
It's not to me. No.
There you go.
I just figured I'd talk to you guys. I know the sponsors. We did good on sponsors last year. That really helped too.
Well, I like the timing of the event.
That's why we moved it back.
That'll be bonus for us, so.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else?
We'll see you a little later.
Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Advocate?
Morning, I'm Jessica Ryle. I'm here on behalf of Glens Falls Vegan and Advocate. Kate Austin Avon was supposed to be here to do this, but she injured her foot this morning. So I'm here in her place. We are planning the second Glens Falls Vegan Festival in February. We had a festival last year in August in City Park. It was our first time. We wanted to move it to February next year because there's a lot less going on in the area in the winter. Sorry, I'm very nervous. We're asking for funds to help with the festival. Glens Falls Vegan is a grassroots organization that Kate started about 15 years ago. A few of our other friends helped out. And now that I work for Kate at Advocate, she wanted to plan an event. Our goal with the event is to increase tourism to the area, accessibility to vegan options at local establishments. There's one thing about vegans, we love to eat, and we're always up for traveling for a food festival. The festival also helped with local restaurants. We also, along with the event, had local downtown Glens Falls restaurants plan vegan specials that if they weren't able to vend at the event, people went out for dinner after. And so we promoted those restaurants. Rock Hill Bakehouse did a discount coupon and said that it was their busiest day ever. So it definitely was a big push for local businesses. We also want to promote a healthy lifestyle and a sense of community. A lot of times vegans feel out of the loop, outcasts, we don't know what we can eat when we go out to a restaurant. So we're helping show that there's a need for this in hopes that restaurants will offer more vegan food items on their menu. So we're hoping for the extra funds to increase our advertising, to reach more people to come into the area. We had a survey at the last festival and found that 8.5% of our attendees were out of state. A lot were from the Albany area. We are hoping to extend more to people in northern Warren County who maybe can't make it to the big vegan festival in Albany. So we're just hoping to reach more people with extra funds for next year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? Mr. Trainer,
Good thing I'm here, huh?
good thing.
You and me.
This is a one-day event. Where are you going to hold it in February?
We're holding it at the Sierra Wood Theater in Glens Falls.
Okay. And did you go to the local restaurants and are you going to go to the local restaurants and advise them of this type of event?
We will, yeah.
'Cause I mean, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Anybody who stays up late and watches diners, drive-ins and dives, sometimes they do some vegan stuff and it's just, very tempting, but can't get
Rarely.
it through the TV. Barely.
Rarely.
Rarely. This your first time in front of us?
Yes.
And will you be doing it again at the park in the summer, or is this just going to be your one-shot deal?
We're kind of undecided. We thought about doing 2 a year. We wanted to try the winter festival because a lot of the vendors couldn't commit in the summertime. So we haven't committed to a summer one, but we're still tossing around the idea of 2.
Okay, and you're getting a good response, are you, from the restaurants?
Yes. Yeah.
Because I think that, a lot of them would probably enjoy this. It's something different.
Yeah. It went well last year.
Okay, thank you.
And the $5,000 is going to be used for advertising, promotional stuff. Is that, am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, most of it, in addition to, we have live performers. We had 3 musicians and an MC at the summer festival. So we're hoping with increased funding, we can get some more well-known musicians to draw more people. But yeah, mostly promotion, advertising.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Casino.
Thank you. I see room nights at 0. Have you talked to any local hotels, or I know it's a one-day event and I know you're anticipating advertising more and maybe getting more people from out of town. You feel you can rent some hotel rooms out of it? And
I think if we can reach more people who are farther away, I don't know that anyone stayed in town last year, but we did have one vendor who came from Pennsylvania specifically for the festival, and they did stay overnight. But we're hoping, it was kind of our first try, and we were just, doing what we could. But we're hoping to expand it and get more people to stay in town.
Mr. Straugh?
Yes, thank you. Have you gone to the city and asked for any money for this event?
They gave us some last year. So we haven't this year. I'm actually not sure when the application is due, but we were planning on it.
And they gave you money, or they,
They did last year, yeah.
okay. Because it seems like a city event, so, okay, thanks.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
you,
Albany Rods and Customs.
You're not here.
Adirondack Nationals. Yes, she's.
Try this again.
Take 2.
My name is Erin, and I'm part of the Adirondack Nationals Car Show. Albany Rods and Customs, ARC for short, is a 45-member voluntary car club based in the Capital District. ARC was founded in 1983. In 1985, ARC hosted their first event called the Highland Farms Car Show in Altamont, New York. In 1986, it started as the Mom and Pop Apple Pie Car Show. The first few shows were small and had less than 100 cars. In 1988, ARC held an invitation-only show called the Adirondack Nationals at the Sheridan Inn in Glens Falls. There were 268 cars. The following year, the show was moved to the Fort William Henry Resort. Since the move to the Fort William Henry, we've been able to grow this event to its fullest. We have 1,500 pre-registered vehicles. People from all over the country bring their cars to the show and is considered a must-attend event. The Adirondack Nationals is a family-based car show. We try to keep our costs to a minimum so that families can afford to attend. We've expanded the show to 5 days, with the kickoff party being held on Wednesdays. We've been informed that we filled every hotel in Lake George. You can see the lines of people at the restaurants. Mayor Blaze always said that we had the largest attended event, and they could tell by the wastewater plant how much is running through. We have counts of over 10,000 spectators attending. We hand out multiple items with Warren County and Lake George logos on them, not to mention the billboards and the commercials we use. We were able to donate over $10,000 to the regional food bank this year for our charity. We have thousands of followers on social media that see your logos. Due to the predicted weather forecast this past year, we took to social media to kick off the show every morning. Within 3 hours, we had 11,000 views. We do have a contract with the Fort William Henry, and we look forward to the next couple of years for everyone to attend the must-attended event of Warren County. We are requesting $50,000 this year due to the inflation of prices. We do plan to use that for advertising. Thank you in advance for your anticipated support.
Any questions? Janine?
I've run a few small businesses, but candidly, losing $250,000, not exactly that's a big number. How are you, that seems like almost impossible to continue.
I have no idea where that number came from or where that, I have no idea.
Okay.
Someone just showed us in the hallway. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that seems like a lot of money to lose and
Right.
tough. And I'm sorry, but the $50,000 is going to be used for
Advertising.
advertising? Okay, thank you.
Mr. Stroud, I thought your hand was up.
Same question.
Okay. Anyone else?
Is this your first time in front of us?
No.
I don't
And
think
what
so.
did we give you last, was it last year?
Last year, 40,000.
40,000?
Hmm.
Are you gonna anticipate going to any other municipality and ask for funds?
Not at this time, no.
No other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do
Americade,
we have anybody that's not going to be in Lake George?
Good morning. I'm Kim Sabo. I am here for Christian Dutcher, who is at an event right now. We had a employee leave, one of our 2 full-time employees who was supposed to attend the event. And so he's in Texas right now. So I am in for him. I can probably answer any questions. I worked for Americade for a few years. So I do have some knowledge of that. If not, I will defer to him and get those questions answered. I think most of you know Americade or have heard Americade. In the past 42 years, this will be our 42nd annual multi-day event. We feel we're very unique in the motorcycle event industry because we offer a family-friendly event. If you haven't been to Americade, you base your thoughts of Americade on the sounds that are going around and motorcycles. If you haven't been to it, you wouldn't know that it is a family-friendly event. I would bring my 3-year-old granddaughter to it readily. We're a destination vacation event. People come here not just for Americade, though it is the primary reason that they do come. In our visitor survey last year, we found that the person who answered was 4.61 days that they spent in the area, some as many as 10 days. So we do pride ourselves on that. Some come early and some stay later. This is the 3rd year that we will do it Memorial Day week. And when we changed it to Memorial Day week, there were some discussions of that. But just if the weather is any indication of how successful it's been, Americade used to be not, if it's going to rain at Americade, but when is it going to rain and how much is it going to rain? And we have had 2 beautiful years of weather the week of Memorial Day. So we are hoping, knock on wood, that continues. Some noteworthy things, and I mentioned it earlier, we used to be a 12-person company. We are now down to 1 full-time employee, and he is at a event right now. We have hired another full-time employee who will be coming in to run our expo and do some production of that. these months, October, November, December are our months that we don't have events. And so we are working on the planning for next year. We are working on contracting vendors, primarily motorcycle vendors. We have 100+ vendors that come to our event. We are working on contracting our entertainment. We have comedians, stunt show performers. We have a 2-night block party. We have steamboat cruises. We're using 2 companies on the lake now. We had a rodeo last year. We've had a rodeo in the past. It was very, very successful, sponsored by Honda. We have motor manufacturers who come and do the demos in the Fort William Henry parking lot. Last year, we had a record-breaking number of 20 motorcycle manufacturers there. Like Christian likes to say, it's like a kid in a candy store if you come. I mean, and if you've seen the people who come in and have the opportunity to ride 20 different manufacturer motorcycles, they are very excited for that. We are right now working on our guided and unguided mini tours that take us through every part of Warren County and beyond, from, Lake Placid. We have a new ride to Old Forge this year. So we're contracting lunch destinations and getting our guides prepared. We ride through every part of Warren County at some point during our event. Like I said, we are a multi-day event. We start on Tuesday evening and we go through Saturday. We do rider training as well with the Motorcycle Safety Foundation, and we have seminars and featured speakers that focus on improving your riding skills and, what's new and different in motorcycling. Some things to consider: we are in the shoulder season. We are a May event. We are May 27th through the 31st this year, when Lake George would normally not be busy. According to the Smith Travel Reports, the region at this time is 85% occupied, the hotels, motels, campgrounds, and we work very closely with them at a time when it normally wouldn't be. So we're proud of that. We think that, and we hope that we contribute as much to the occupancy tax funds through the people who stay as we ask for funding. We also know through our survey that people do dine and hike and do other events in the area when they are here. A couple years ago, we made it free for Warren County residents, which has been very, very well received to come into the expo in the demo area. We do work closely with charities. A couple of charities that we've worked with the last few years is a pediatric brain tumor and the Wounded Warrior Project. So we're very proud of that. We have had challenges, like I said before. Staffing is an issue in keeping people around, not just the year-round people, but also the temporary staff for the week of working. It's very expensive to have people work on a temporary basis. The pandemic has changed a lot of things, increased costs for everything we do, from fencing, porta potties, tents, everything has increased. And we don't want to pass that price down to our attendees more than we can and still have them come. So it's just the motorcycle industry is a changing industry, and we have to adapt to that and try to do other things and be inventive in what else we can add to our event to bring not only motorcyclists in, but also the public. Last year, the rodeo was open to the public, and it was a great, great turnout. So the money that we use will be reinvested in keeping, the lights on, so to speak, and keep Americade in business so we can continue for the 43rd year. Any questions?
Any questions?
I just want to commend you for, I don't think you have, everybody knows the impact Americade has on our local economy, and adapting to the changes in the industry. You've done an unbelievable job. And I know you said you got 20 manufacturers there last year. That's amazing. You anticipate them coming back?
Oh, yes, and then some. We ran out of room last year.
Yeah.
So we're very excited. We are becoming one of the prime events, if not the prime event, for some of our manufacturers. And they've asked to come not just with one rig, but with 2 or 3 or more. And we are out of room. So we are expanding and looking to expand our footprint.
Yeah, you have trail rides, off-road rides.
We do. Those are our mini tours. Very, very, very well attended.
No other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
If I can ask, just to remind everybody, in front of the supervisors here, the committee members, they have a lot of the details of the event. So please stick with anything that is top line. It would help us out because we are running way behind on timing. And supervisors, as much as you're asking some great questions, a lot of the questions are around repeat events, whether or not you're asking from local funding within the municipalities. And so if you can think about that as you're presenting, if I can have the Center for Disability Services to come up again, or to come up for this time.
So I feel like I'm cheating a little because that's our parent company. I'm actually here on behalf of Prospect Center. Hopefully most of you know us. Thank you for your time. My name is Kim Heineman. I've been with the Prospect Center for over 25 years. We are here asking for $5,000 to support our annual $1 Million Beach Volleyball Tournament, which, as the name states, is held at $1 Million Beach. It is a 2-day event, but we start setup on Fridays and we go through Sunday evenings. It's a very long day. We start at 7 in the morning at $1 Million Beach, and we have 425 teams each day. Saturday is co-ed. No, I'm sorry. Saturday is men's and or women's. So you play on either side of those teams. And then Sunday is a co-ed event. Trying to keep it short here. We have approximately 850 players and their families, probably another 1,500 visitors. At that time, we're always the first full weekend in August. And at that time, most of the hotels are 2-day stayovers. And I would tell you 50 to 60% of our players stay because they play on both days. So with that being said, we have not been here to ask for money, at least since I have been around. And but we do go to Lake George, both the joint and the village, for occupancy tax, and have received it over the years. And they've been very generous with us. A few years ago, probably over 10 years ago now, the beach DEC put in a boat ramp, and that boat ramp took away 3 spots from, I'm sure that wasn't high on their priority list, but three spots for nets for us. So we do max out at 17 to 18 nets with our players. So we do not have the ability to expand there. Our sponsorships and our support through occupancy tax is how we make money throughout that event. And of course, the players. Our biggest costs are definitely marketing, both social media and local marketing with the radio stations. And then our largest expense, and I brought a little visual, are these. And they're very nice on a blue sunny day on $1 Million Beach, but these are our volleyball tanks that all of our players receive with a sponsorship, larger sponsorships on the back. So with that being said, I would say, any questions?
2 seconds.
The only thing I didn't add is that any funds that we do make go back to program and services at Prospect Center.
You referenced that you got 2,500 from the town of Lake George last year, right?
Yes.
I don't know what you got from the village. Did you also get?
5.
What's that?
5.
You got 5,000 from the
Yes.
village plus 25 from the town?
Yes, and we had not necessarily planned to go for either of those this year. We would wait and see what happens here.
Okay, because the town has no problem funding this. I could say, I mean, our board always has, but for the 2,500, and you got some from joint?
We did.
Good.
We got 2,500 from one and 5 from the other.
2,500 came from the town.
Yes.
Of Lake George. Then there's the joint, town and village.
Yes.
Then there's the village. So
Yes.
you got 2,500 from the town.
If you're confused, imagine how confused I am.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I think you got 2,500 from the
Yes,
town.
we
and
did.
Possibly 5,000 from the village.
Correct,
I don't
that
think
is
you have
correct.
Anything from the joint.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
yes.
All right. Any questions?
So
All right, thank you. So we can move on.
Okay.
Thank you very much. for
Yep.
that. Charles Arwood Theater, apologies.
All right. Hello, my name is Eric Potter. I'll be as quick as possible so we can all move on to everybody else.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So obviously you have our report, what we're looking for. We're producing a brand new children's play by a local author, award-winning book called Color World. And we're turning it into Color World Live. So we're taking this wonderful award-winning book and turning it into an actual production at the theater. My name is Eric Potter. I am the production manager, co-creator, and director of this piece. We're asking for a little bit of money compared to what everybody else seems to be asking for. But that money will help us pay for the production staff. This is a professional show. We are a professional theater, and what we're looking to do is pay for artists, designers, artists, designers, and engineers is what we're looking at. We're not paying our actors for this. We do have children in the show, and we also have adults in the show, and we're working together. There you go.
Any questions from? All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's it.
Look at you.
One question?
Great example.
Biggest.
Okay, my friend. Eastern New York Marine Trades Association.
Good morning, everybody. How are you?
Good morning.
My name is George Normandin with Normandin Marketing. I represent the Eastern New York Marine Trades Group, the upstate New York boat dealers. I'm here on behalf of the Great Upstate Boat Show, which you may or may not be familiar with, but we are the annual show at the Dome, now run by Afram Sports. And this year we're asking for a little slightly increase, and I'll tell you the reason why, just to offset some inflationary costs with regards to the new owner and some different things we're doing and to expand our marketing footprint. We've been very successful getting blood from a stone for the last several years, so to speak, to just trying to squeeze every nickel we could out of our marketing budget. And I'm very proud to announce that we haven't really upped with your support, of course, over the last couple of years through COVID and getting us to this point. We hadn't upped our marketing budget for years. So like I said, literally have gotten blood from the stone, but we are now using our budget to get about a $250,000 worth of marketing, advertising, and PR, which extends to, the core audiences that I would consider our county targets to bring new business here, which is New York, New England, Connecticut, Jersey. And our boat show a year is worth about $10 million in revenue we do with our upstate dealers, and 85 to 90% of that revenue, boat registrations are right here in Warren County. So it's a huge return on investments, not to mention the hotels and the folks that come in. So from last year, we had folks coming in from Jersey. They're crazy. And that snowstorm, we got shut down a little earlier, and we're like, where are these guys coming from? And they're all coming from all across New York, or southern New York and Connecticut and Jersey, and staying the night here. And so it's a great event. And like I said, we've been able to produce and show, improve beyond any doubt that we can produce a really good return on your investment. And the reason, again, for the increase is just inflationary costs and a little bit more marketing juice and social for an extra week to hit those, southern points down towards the city.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any questions? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for being quick. Yep.
Jen's Homes, Inc., DBA Alpha Win. Oh, coming from the side.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Chris Mayo, and I'm here representing Tommy Strazzeri. Tommy and his father, Tom, started took over the Lake George Triathlon about 10 years ago. Tommy apologizes. He's in Napa today, as we're a nationwide company, and we have two events out in California. So as I said, we put on the annual Lake George Triathlon over Labor Day weekend at $1 Million Beach. Our event continues to grow. This year, 2024 event, which just wrapped up, we had about 2,100 visitors. In our extensive post-race survey, 20 states were represented, all the way from California, with our primary market being in the Northeast. The athletes come all the way from Canada. Each athlete brings about 3 people to the town with them when they come. Some people come for a week. Some people come for 2 or 3 days. Our average is just over 2 days per athlete. Throughout the summer, we have noticed that athletes come and preview the course several times throughout the year to get ready for race weekend. Additionally, we do triathlon camps in the area. So while it looks like our event is a weekend event, we're more a destination event that brings athletes to the area over and over that compete in one of the most prestigious triathlons in the Northeast. We've held a national championship this year, and we continue to apply for more events. We work with Gina and her team. Our goal is to secure a national championship in the Lake George area soon. We keep applying, and we're gonna keep at it. Any questions?
Mr. Bean? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. How many participants in 2024?
In 2024, we had about 850 registered participants.
And the money, the $36,000 profit, again, I'm looking at the profit and loss statement. I'm not sure exactly where it's coming from, but
of course,
the 36,000, how's that used?
Well, a majority of that, all of that really comes from the funding we receive. Fortunate enough to get 20,000 from this group last year, which was a cutback. But we were also fortunate, and thank you for your support. I know we have a lot of people here, so thank you. We were also fortunate to get 20,000 from the town and the village. So really our profit is the funding, and we put that back into increasing our marketing, because as I mentioned, we are primarily attracting athletes from the Northeast, New York City, but this is a beautiful area, and Lake Placid has a full distance triathlon. They get international athletes, and there's no reason why we can't do that here. So, in short, to grow our outreach through marketing efforts.
All right, seeing no other questions, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Glens Falls Collaborative. And there are 2 applicants for Glens Falls Collaborative, Adirondack Holiday Festival and Wing Fest, not West Wing.
Good morning. My name is Cam Cardinelli. I'm a board member on the Glens Falls Collaborative. Do you want me to start with Holiday Festival?
If you wouldn't mind, please.
Of course.
Thank you.
We're asking for continued 35,000 for this event. Last year we had 325 rooms with 650 room nights, 6,500 attendees. Started in 2018. We don't receive any occupancy tax funding from the city for this event, but we do receive a small contribution for entertainment from them. And that's my spiel on that one. Of course.
Any questions on that one?
Yeah.
What did we,
Dana?
did we give you money last year?
Yep.
How much?
35 level funding.
Okay, and where is this held?
City Park in Glens Falls. It's a 3-day event. Friday night is a large community festival.
Tent or something?
What was that?
Is there a tent or something?
Yep, we have many
Okay,
tents.
Be outside. I was just kind of wondering,
Yep.
when you get old like me, the cold bothers you.
Yeah, we have heated tents for vendors. We have a parade, Santa visits, holiday festivities, that kind of thing.
And how many people did you think came through last year?
6,500.
6,500?
Yep.
Wow. Good for me.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
And the Wing Fest?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wingfest, we're asking for 10K again. That's what was awarded last year, level funding. 300 rooms for that, 6,000 attendees. That's been around since 2015. And we don't receive any city funding on that. Funding from this board supports marketing efforts as well as just general event expenses.
I've got 15,000, not 10.
That's what I have.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, there was a 5,000 increase for this year's
Okay.
ask.
I just want to be sure. Okay.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Glens Falls Symphony Orchestra. And this one also has 4 applicants. So if we can start with the Holiday Pops Glens Falls Symphony on December 7th.
Sure, thank you. So the Glens Falls Symphony, because the application has details about the events, I thought I'd give a little overview.
Sure.
The symphony is celebrating its 41st season this year. It is a fully professional orchestra, and Glens Falls is the smallest city in the United States to actually support a fully professional orchestra. We have musicians who are on our roster Our concerts range from 25 to about 60 players, and those musicians come from all over the country, largely in the Northeast. We have a number of players who come from the capital region, from Maine, from Boston, from New York City, from the New Jersey tri-state area, and then a few from California and further afield, Michigan and Ohio. So those musicians come and bring their expertise and their virtuosity to the stage. We do 5 full orchestra concerts per year during the regular season, of which the holiday concert is an annual tradition that's been in place for years. It is often our best-selling concert. Last year, it was our largest indoor concert by attendance, which is 1,200 people ever. And we always engage with youth to participate in the concert. This coming December, which is not what this application is for, but just to give you an overview, there will be dancers from Saratoga Springs Youth Ballet performing the Nutcracker. There will be the South Glens Falls Choral Program and students from the Warrensburg Choral Program who will all be participating in the concert. So our vision is to always be bringing professional orchestra musicians together in ways that support youth, local youth, in giving them performance opportunities, as well as performing in children's concerts where we take the orchestra out to 6 different counties, and we're going up into the Adirondacks doing children's concerts there. So for this particular event, there will be a number of other high school choruses performing next fall or next December. That's still in the working stages, but this, as I say, this has been a tradition for many years. And over the course of the other events that we have applied for, which we do concerts all during the year. We're here year round. Our budget is $560,000. We run this operation with 2 staff people. And in 2023, we were able to put on 39 events of different kinds. The regular 5 concerts that are the indoor symphony concerts that we're addressing here. Also the Summer Pops concert, which is for 5,000 or 6,000 people at Crandall Park every year on July 3rd. And then a number of other events with patrons coming from about 250 zip codes that we have found. And we even have season ticket holders who come from multiple states. We have 5 single season ticket holders who come from Quebec. So we have a wide range of people who are classical music fans who come to hear the symphony every year. So I don't know if you want to address the other concerts.
Well, yes, that's just for the December 7th.
That's about the holiday. I mean, some of it is overview for the whole organization,
Yep.
but yeah.
That's for December 7th.
Any questions?
The Holiday Pops concert takes place at Glens Falls High School Auditorium, which seats 1,200 people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No questions.
No questions, no.
Then July 3rd, please.
Sure. So July 3rd is our biggest event. It's a big community event. We have food vendors who come about 50% from our local area. Some of them come further afield. We tend to have 18 to 20 food vendors at the event. There's an antique car show. There are bounce houses. There's all kinds of stuff going on during the day. If you haven't been, it's a multi-generational celebration, and we do patriotic music. And coming up in 2025, this will be unique for us. I'm a part of the Warren County 250th Commission, and so last summer and then this coming summer in 25 and then leading up to 2026, the July 3rd concert is going to focus on including some elements of history in the narration and some historical music that, kind of educates and kind of inspires people to really know about the unique history. Last year, Supervisor Stroud was kind enough to be our narrator reading the words of Joseph Warren during part of the concert. So they'll be doing more of that in 2025. And then in 2026, we'll be premiering a world premiere piece that we're in the process of commissioning that will be all about the Knox expedition. So the July 3rd is for everybody. There are sing-alongs. It's a light pops concert. The orchestra is in black and white outside in the band shell.
Where does this take place?
At Crandall Park.
Crandall Park, okay.
Yep.
Any other
And it
questions?
goes all the way to, there are people seating themselves all the way over to the Y, all the way across Glen Street, et cetera. So it's a big event.
No other questions? Thank you.
Then your Mailer Symphony number 5. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, Mahler, very
Mahler,
close.
thank you.
So on May 4th coming this year will be, our season tends to run September through May and kind of an academic type of calendar. So the Mahler Fifth Symphony. That will be our season finale for the season we're in right now, 2024-25. It's a gigantic orchestra piece. It's being featured. The works of Gustav Mahler have been featured in a number of films recently, so we're kind of capitalizing on that a little bit. It's a epic performance that will kind of challenge the orchestra and give the audience something really grand to listen to. So we anticipate between 700 to about 1,000 people participating in listening to that concert.
Any questions? All right, thank you.
And then
one
your
more.
piano festival, March 16th.
Yes, so backing up by date, so our next concert, after the next two that are coming now, will be on March. We have a pianist coming from Berlin who is going to be performing a solo piece with the orchestra. And then the second half of the concert, it features young students from the capital region and nearby who will all be doing a series of duets of featured, it's a piece called the Carnival of the Animals, which has some music in it that many people would recognize. It's used in commercials and whatnot. And so this piano festival will give these young people a chance to perform and show off their skills. They're all extremely accomplished. You can't possibly not be humbled by reading the resume of a 9-year-old who's performed in front of professional orchestras. And so it will be a whole festival. And then we have a reception afterwards where everybody can get together and really, enjoy and celebrate the accomplishments of both the young people and our guest artists coming from Berlin.
Any questions? None? All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. That was well done. We appreciate it. The Hudson Valley Volunteer Firefighters Association. And if I can just remind my supervisors to be sure to do the scoring, we'll be collecting these books afterwards.
She has to be. Morning, members of the Warren County Occupancy Tax Committee. My name is Chris Kilmartin, and I'm here on behalf of the Hudson Valley Volunteer Firefighters Association to request your financial assistance for our 2025 annual convention and parade, which we are thrilled to host right here in Lake George. This is a significant event not only for our association, but for the entire community. The HVVFA convention represents 16 counties across the Hudson Valley and has a proud tradition of being a vital fundraiser for local fire departments. However, for 2025, we face a unique challenge. Unlike in previous years, there is no local fire department available to host this event. So our association's board of directors has taken on full responsibility for organizing and funding the convention. Lake George has a well-deserved reputation for hosting some of the most successful and well-attended conventions in our association's history. Our members love returning to this region for its scenic beauty, fantastic restaurants, family-friendly attractions, and the convenience of the village layout that minimizes travel for attendees. It's these characteristics that make us confident the 2025 convention will be another highly successful event. While this event was hosted in Queensbury 2 years ago, the number of fire companies who will participate based on historical data is significantly higher when hosted in the village of Lake George. For example, this year's event was in Saugerties. There were 60 fire companies. In 2023 in Queensbury, in the pouring rain, there were over 80 that stayed March through. In 2016, the last time it was held in Lake George, there were over 140 fire companies represented. This event is scheduled for June 11th to the 14th, 2025, a 4-day convention during the shoulder season. We anticipate a total of 15,000 attendees over the course of the event, with 65% expected to be day visitors and 35% staying overnight. This translates to an estimated 15,750 room nights booked in local accommodations, providing a substantial economic boost to the area. These figures are based on historical data from past conventions held throughout our association's 16-county footprint, which includes over 200 companies from Westchester and Rockland in the south to Essex in the north. One unique aspect of this year's convention is the proactive effort we made in collaboration with the Lake George business community. We worked together to select dates in early June that would contribute to the economic vitality of the region by filling a period where there is typically a void in occupancy. To accommodate this, the HVVFA even amended our bylaws, allowing us to host the convention earlier in the year with the goal of achieving higher visitation and generating greater support from local business and residents alike. However, unlike prior years, there is no local fire company to financially back this event. The association is covering 100% of the cost, which range from logistics, event planning, and parade coordination to vital services like traffic control and securing parade judges. All of this will be managed by volunteers who are using their own personal funds. We have no paid staff or professional event planners. Everyone involved is either a full-time employee, volunteer firefighter, or committed community member. Our proposed budget for the 2025 convention is $66,000. They are requesting that 60% of that, or $39,600, be supported by occupancy tax funds from Warren County and the town and village of Lake George. This funding will be critical to covering the cost of hosting an event of this size and significance. It's important to note that this convention is 100% volunteer driven with no corporate sponsors or private entities profiting. Every dollar raised and donated will directly support Hudson Valley's work. The target audience for this convention includes volunteer firefighters and their families, as well as local residents and enthusiasts. Beyond being an important gathering for fire service professionals, this is a family-oriented event, and its economic impact will extend far beyond just our participants. Local hotels, restaurants, shops, and attractions will all benefit from the influx of visitors, many of whom will be staying for the entire duration of the event. Moreover, the funds raised by this association will reinvest in critical initiatives, including firefighter training, fire prevention education, and legislative advocacy, all aimed at protecting public safety. This is not just a convention, it's an investment in the safety and well-being of communities across the Hudson Valley, including Warren County. By supporting this event, you are directly contributing to public safety and community service. We greatly appreciate your thoughtful consideration of this request. If you have any questions regarding the budget, planning, or event schedule, be more than happy to address them. Thank you for your time and recognizing the unique value this event brings to both our association and the Lake George region. Thank you.
Any questions? Just a question. Is it unusual that you're holding this event in a community where you don't have local support from the local fire department?
It is. It's a unique challenge, but we're going to get it done. We've been working with Gina from the chamber, along with Supervisor Cressito, Mayor Perry, and we're confident we're going to make this a very successful event and hopefully one that will continue to come back. And I should mention, while we don't have the financial support of the Lake George Fire Department, there are members on board who are willing to help. Just the department as a whole has decided not to take the venture.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hyde Collection.
My name is Kate Wilkins. I'm the Chief Advancement Officer at the Hyde Collection. I'm here with my colleague, Christine Horde, our Director of Development. Thank you for your past support of the Hyde Collection. Last year, Warren County provided $25,000 in support, which matched support received in 2023 during our 60th anniversary season. We're so grateful for the continued investment of the county. 2025 marks our 62nd season serving Warren County and surrounding regions. This year, we're requesting $35,000 from the occupancy tax program to boost our year-round marketing efforts aimed at attracting tourists and visitors between January 1 and December 31st, 2025, with an emphasis on the summer tourist season, during which we see about a third of our visitorship. We believe these efforts will result in an increase in stays and spending by both overnight guests and day trippers. Moreover, this increased funding request speaks to our ambitions to return our visitorship to pre-pandemic levels of approximately 20,000 visitors. We have received support from the city of Glens Falls and the town of Queensbury in years past and anticipate submitting requests in support of the 2025 season. However, Warren County has continued to offer the strongest line of support as we promote our exhibitions and programs as a key driver of tourism in our region. An overview for those who are unfamiliar, the Hyde offers a world-class group of artwork that spans 6,000 years of art history from antiquity to the present, and the most complete visual arts experience between New York City and Montreal, as well as a historic and contemporary connection to Glens Falls, Lake George, and the natural beauty of the Adirondacks. In short, the Hyde is an example of what makes Warren County
vibrant and unique, excuse me, our request covers the entire calendar year, which means that we are reaching out to people on a continual basis. We aim to shine a light on the Hyde as a key regional destination and asset through video, digital marketing, and new outreach, and we're grateful to Warren County as you consider providing the capital that will set the 2025 marketing plan in motion. You'll see this in our application, but our overall marketing budget this year is approximately $140,000, of which we are seeking $35,000 from Warren County. The Hyde will continue our robust marketing plan that we implemented in years past with your support last year and targeting out-of-town visitors. With funding from the occupancy tax program, the Hyde will showcase the museum in Warren County as a destination for cultural tourists, especially those from Western New England, including Vermont, Western New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Northwest Connecticut, Central New York, the lower Hudson Valley, as well as New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Given the general public's continued desire to travel, the Hyde is positioned to attract both regional and overnight guests and day trippers looking for new experiences and attracted by our exhibition schedule. In 2025, the Hyde will offer 12 new originally curated exhibitions at the museum. The Hyde will leverage these exhibitions to promote the museum as a must-see cultural destination in Warren County. Each show highlights the best of our collection and includes works and loans from prominent institutions the country and world over, as well as artists on the rise. They are designed to attract visitors from near and far. During the 2024 season, the Hyde saw visitors from 9 countries and 46 different states outside of New York, and we expect that the 2025 exhibitions will continue to expand this reach. Moreover, our year-round exhibitions are the driver for programs for participants of all ages across a diverse service area, including Warren, Washington, Saratoga, and Essex counties. To speak briefly on this, along with additional visitor statistics, I invite Director of Development Christine Horde to share our programming ambitions for the 2025 season.
Thank you. I'll keep my notes very brief. The Hyde Collection staff understands that everyone experiences art differently, and so we're dedicated to providing new ways to engage people with artwork and to be inspired and to learn. We offer programs through 2025 that are planned are Art Afternoon, Art After Hours, our annual Community Day. We offer on-screen at the Hyde. We do youth classes. We do adult classes. We also offer some programs for those with diverse learning needs. We offer artist talks that gather people to learn about those that are doing exhibitions, especially in our modern art section. So we do draw in a lot of people to the area. We also provide group tours. So a lot of those conventions that come to the area are looking for spousal programs or activities. So they'll come to the Hyde for an afternoon to experience all that we have to offer. Last year, 2023, our museum welcomed approximately 15,000 visitors. That was a 37% increase over 2022, which was the pre-pandemic. As you can imagine, the pandemic pretty much closed the art museum down for a while. We are actually doubled last year from the 2022. So we are seeing an increase of those coming back to the museum. I do believe a lot of the programs that Kate referred to are also helping that. It's a very vibrant place to be right now. To date, we've welcomed over 10,000 visitors. Of those, we know 3,900 came from a 3-hour plus radius. We know that because we do survey our guests as they come in. We ask, are you a member? If not, where are you from? Are you staying overnight? So we're trying to gather that data for ourselves. We know that 25% of those 3,900 did say they were staying at least one night, if not more. So that is an estimate of about 979 overnight guests. And we also know, as Kate said, that we had visitors from 9 countries and 46 other states outside of New York. We continue to look for ways to convert our guests into overnight visitors. We have an interest in helping to make Warren County a destination, as all the other groups have spoken before us. And we're going to continue to look for ways to attract art lovers, cultural tourists, and just general people to the area. And we thank you very much for your time this morning and your consideration.
Any questions? All right. Thank you very much, ladies.
Imagination Nation.
What's the event on this?
Wonder Place Alpha.
So representing the promoters that are going to be doing this event. Side note on the ranch, the first 2 years in April, we had done something very small and it was successful, up to 400 people each weekend. And I said, this is great, but I want it to be bigger and I'm not going to do it. So I went and found people who want to do it. And they are coming out of New Jersey and Pennsylvania. It's a team of promoters who have been doing these kinds of events for many years. Most recently, last weekend in the Hudson Valley, they had another successful one. They were actually referred to me by another mutual friend. So they are doing Wonder Place Alpha, which is, well, I'm going to read it because I'm representing them here today. They are not here. So it's a liminal environment, one where travelers from all over space and time mix in conversation, combat, empire building, mad volunteerism, solo adventure, quiet contemplation, relaxation, cyberpunk explorations, Renaissance fair strolls, steampunk irrepressibility, and Halloween all the time. It's a market, a game space, a place to visit for one day or become immersed for a weekend in a gorgeous indoor-outdoor venue. This is from the website. So from the promoter, one of them, the simple pitch is it's a kind of multi-genre Renaissance fair. People have tried that a few times, not often with varying success. Our Wicked Fair is usually considered one of the most successful, and it has a benefit of creating a really unique show with a science, a fantasy, sci-fi, otherworldly element. You can attract the Sci-Fi Renaissance Fair SCA crowd hundreds of miles for something unique, which they are currently already doing in other areas, as I said, where people come for the concept of having some conventional bigger draw as a really effective sweetener, not where the performer is the draw. So it's a great deal of time-consuming, inexpensive work, creating the history, basic props and costumes and gear, and basic elements of a Ren Fair, then modifying the process and speeding it up for 3 more genres. They pulled the concept together with a coastal national ad campaign to bring people in. Blah, 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 blah. He said the rest is honestly execution. So they're already doing this. And I like to call it the stamp program because I've used to do this in my own business elsewhere. You take a successful event, you should be able to pick up that stamp and stick it down somewhere else. At our venue, the 3rd weekend in May, Dan and Kelly Albro, who realistically should be here too, because they're already bringing in hundreds of people. They have the stamp program as well. They're from Rhode Island, and they do a blind dance weekend at our place, 3rd year, and they also do them all over the whole East Coast. It's a stamp. This is exactly what Jeff and Alonzo are doing. I believe in them. I think they've got a great plan, a great program. It's the 1st weekend in May, as we said. And I told them that's the weekend you need to do if you want to get support, because there's nothing going on. So that's the quick synopsis.
Where is this going to be held?
At the ranch, Wilderness Ranch.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. You got it.
Appreciate it.
You got it.
Improv records. I have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we could start with the Adirondack Independent Music Festival, please.
Yeah, sure. So I'm doing 4 this year. Adirondack is the first one we started. It's the 10th year. I'll get right to it. We do about 3,600 room nights. We do about 700,000 or 800,000 into the local economy. We do about 7,500 people over 3 days on the average. Sometimes it's lighter, obviously, and sometimes it's a little heavier. Been light since after COVID, but we're getting back to the numbers that we need. So that budget is about 510,000. And then moving on to Memorial Meltdown, it's the 4th year for that one. That budget is about 350,000.
I can hold on that one because I want them to be able to ask questions.
Oh,
Please,
sure.
if
They're all
you don't
basically
mind.
the same, but no, I don't mind at all.
So anyone, go ahead, I'm Gene, sorry.
Anybody have any questions on the first one? Broad record.
Is this the first time you've been in front of us?
No, I'm in front of you every year for the past 10.
And how much did you get before?
For Adirondack, I think we got 40, maybe 30, 35. They mix them up.
Yeah, we got it.
Changes every year.
Where do you have this?
It's at Charles R. Wood Park. All of them are, all 4.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? All right, move on to the second one.
The second one I have here is the Massive Masquerade.
So that's a brand new event this year. Probably going to be at Halloween, but we're not sure yet. We got to see what dates are open. But Halloween's a good time to do a masquerade. So that's going to be a lot of lights, a lot of lasers, some electronic music, and a masquerade party all wrapped in one for a weekend
Where does it take place?
at Charles Elwood Park. And the budget on that one's gonna be about 350, 300, roughly.
Any questions? All right, move on to the next one.
The next one is Memorial Meltdown.
More Meltdown is the fourth or fifth year we're doing that. That one's gonna have more like probably $400,000 to $500,000 budget. And that one we were light this year, but we generated, I think, 1,600 room nights. So we're gonna expand it one more day this year, so hopefully it'll be like 2,400. Then we get about 1,600 to 2,000 a day, so that'd be 6,000 over 3 days. Generate about the same amount into the economy as the other ones, roughly between 600 and 1,000,000.
Any questions? All right,
And your final one, Soul Bloom Music and Wellness Festival.
Yep, so that one's a yoga, wellness, mental health festival. We incorporate a lot of shops and little gatherings of people that have different views on life. It's very all inclusive of all kinds of walks of life. And it was also on Columbus Day weekend, so we did Indigenous Day week, Indigenous Peoples Day. And we incorporated a lot of storytelling because the area is rich in Native Americans. So we did a lot of storytelling and some of their cultural, what they do. I'm just a producer of it. The girls that run it, it's a women-run festival. They're very smart and they know what they want to do. So I just write the checks and they they say how it goes. But that'll also have about $300,000 budget. It was a little less this year, and I don't have final numbers for you yet. But
any questions? All right, thank you.
short and sweet.
If I may ask, if you can get all of these numbers to Paul, we need these in our system
Yeah.
in order to make an award. If you
Yes.
don't have them by the end of the week, we're gonna run into some issues.
So
Gotta go to previous year to get numbers, that's fine. but
yeah, we have that.
budgets.
We already have that.
We need
Is
budget.
that already in
No,
the budget, Paul?
nope.
Wasn't it? It wasn't in? Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. Kevin Richards Entertainment. I've got two for this, correct?
Yes.
We can start with Close Up Country Concert Weekend Festival, please. Oh, Number one.
Number 1 and 2. So they're pretty much the same event. One will be in March and one in October.
Thank you.
For those that aren't familiar with who I am, my name's Kevin Richards. I started my radio career here several years ago. I've been all over and now I end my radio career here. So as part of that, what I decided to do a few years ago to do something in my local hometown that was special and connected to my radio show, I started a close-up concert series at the Wood Theater, bringing Nashville to the North Country. And this truly was a passion project, grassroots, no corporate sponsorships. I said, let's see what'll happen with this. So far, I think people are enjoying it. We started with the legendary Randy Travis to the most recently produced show at the Wood Theater, Crystal Gale. What we're asking for is the support to keep more of these legendary artists coming from Nashville, not only for one-off shows, but we want to take the one-off shows that we've been doing the last 3 years and create an entire weekend event around it, where maybe we bring in an artist from the 70s on Friday, the 80s on 90s on Saturday, or maybe somebody more current on Sunday. Mix it up a little bit so there's something for everybody the entire weekend. But what we need funding for is to pay for these artists to come from Nashville. Considering that the Wood Theater only has 292 seats, as you can see, our budget is really capped at keeping ticket prices low. We really don't want to go much higher with ticket prices. So what we need the funding for is to offset some of that from the bigger Nashville stars we'd like to have come here. Through some of my connections, I've been able to talk some of the bigger stars we've had to our budget to make it fit. But now we're working above and beyond those people to get some more. So, and basically, we also need help with media and advertising to get the word out that we're doing this, because even after 3 years of doing the one-off shows, we still have people that aren't aware that we're doing this in Glens Falls. And more importantly, I want to keep this series in Glens Falls and not have to bring it down to Albany or a bigger population. I want to keep it here. So,
Mr. B.
yes.
Yes, how's the 36, it says 36,000, almost 37,000 profit, how is that used?
I don't think that's profit. I think that's,
But I'm just going by what the number.
all right, those are estimated numbers. If we had the event, this event has not been held
I'm sorry,
before.
okay.
Yeah, so that's an estimated amount of what could be made on the weekend, but this event has not been held before.
If you can clarify, if I may jump in, because these are two events. Is
Yes.
it,
Mhm.
is this budget that you submitted to do two events? So the 98,000 revenue that.
They would be for two separate events,
Okay.
each event, yes.
wanted to
So it would be a
clarify.
different act every day. So we'd be looking at 3 Nashville Stars one weekend and 3 Nashville Stars the next weekend.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much. Lake George Arts Project.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much. In the past couple of minutes, I've been adapting this, so I'm only here for a couple of minutes. My name is Tanya Tobias. I'm the Executive Director of the Lake George Arts Project. I'm here asking for $20,000 to support new initiatives and additional marketing related to Jazz at the Lake. If you're not familiar with Jazz at the Lake, we just celebrated our 40th anniversary this past summer. It takes place the second weekend of September, and we estimate between 4,000 and 6,000 people attend over the course of what is now a 4-day festival. 4 years ago, the Arts Project and our board of directors strategically and thoughtfully expanded the program from 2 days with 7 concerts to what is now 4 days and 17 performances that utilize 9 different locations throughout Lake George. Right? We used to be based solely in Shepherd Park. Now we partner with local restaurants, businesses, our local library. We put performances in their spaces and we bring an audience directly to them. Our jazz festival is one of the top 20 longest consecutive running jazz festivals in the country. And of those 20, we're very, very proud to say there are only 2 that are completely free and open to all. We're bringing musicians from all over the world while simultaneously dedicating space to regional artists. And over the course of our 4 days, we invest $67,000 just in artist fees to people that live and work in this region or artists that are touring in national acts. I said I'd be quick and then I just started talking. So in 2023, we were able to collect 380 zip codes that we expect was about 1/5 of the attendance for the last show on Sunday of that weekend. Of that, we ask attendees their name, their zip code, where they're staying in town, and how many nights they've actually booked. Approximately 55% of those that we received who completed the survey were staying 2 or more nights. Many of those were booked for 3 or 4 nights, where 4 years ago, that number would have been very minimal because we only had a 2-day event. What we did then was actually map all of our attendees. Every zip code that we received went onto a map that helped us better understand our geographic appeal and helped determine our current reach, and then helped us identify hot spots or areas of high concentration for attendees. In that, we've adjusted our marketing. We worked with a publicist that is a specialist in jazz publicity this year and strategically increased and focused marketing efforts in these dead zones where we weren't getting a lot of people from, while also focusing on high density locations. This past year, the Arts Project invested an additional $20,000 to help really harness the 40th anniversary and all the benefits that could possibly come from that. The effort allowed us to book artists who have typically been outside of our budget range, who have mainstream name recognition in the genre, afforded us an opportunity to engage a new, younger, more diverse demographic, and helped us attract wider coverage. We actually doubled the number of radio interview requests, as well as television requests, and our Christian, who we worked with on publicity from 2 for the Show Media, estimated we had over 1 million views on different things that we had out. In summary, Jazz at the Lake has been a cornerstone of the Lake George community for 40 years, and the longevity of the program speaks to the passion of the community has for our festival. To answer the most common questions I've heard, This is our first time here, or at least the first time here in my time. I've been with the Arts Project for going on 5 years now. We do currently receive support from the town of Lake George and the village of Lake George. In 2023, we applied for occupancy tax to support new initiatives, our Jazz Around Town program specifically, and we received $5,000 from that. I forgot the other common questions. I'm sorry. I'm happy to answer anything else.
Any questions? Seeing none. Thank you very much.
So much.
Thank you.
Lake George Battlefield, Park Lion.
Good morning, everyone. My name is John Januzzo. I'm the president of Lake George Battlefield Park Alliance, a nonprofit that operates the park in Lake George, which is a very important site in the history of America, not only in the American Revolution, but also during the French and Indian War. Our submission is for a new one-time event in December of next year, which is a kind of a nice lull traditionally in the holiday season, but our event corresponds with the anniversary of Henry Knox's artillery train, through which he brought over 300 miles in 6 weeks, 60 tons of artillery from Ticonderoga through Warren County, Hague, Bolton, Lake George, Queensbury, Glens Falls. Our commemoration is going to be a 3-day event, Friday, December the 12th through Sunday, December the 14th, involving 6 counties in New York, but Warren County is first. And similarly, this event will really be the kickoff for a lot of what's going to happen with the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution. That obviously the core of that kicks off in 2026, commemorating the 1776 Declaration of Independence. But we're doing it first, basically. And even in our weekend, following Knox's projection, Warren County first, and then we move this artillery train from Warren County to Washington County, Saratoga, Albany, Rensselaer, Columbia, and ultimately through the width of Massachusetts, from the western border with New York all the way to Boston, as Henry Knox did. Now we'll be doing a lot easier work than Henry Knox did with his draft animals and oxen and such. But the important thing, I think, is number one, this event will be raising attention to the impending semi-quincentennial, the 250th anniversary of the Revolution. And we have a lot of notoriety that we planned with this event. Number one, we will be using a bateau, or at least one bateau, and floating cannon from northward down to the south shore of Lake George, in the village of Lake George. Probably at Dog Beach, but we haven't defined that as yet. This will be met by a celebration, if you will. One of our partners is the Glens Falls Symphony Orchestra. They'll be providing a fife and drum type duo or trio that will replicate kind of the music of 1775, 1776. We'll have a minor transport of this cannon up Fort George Road and ultimately end after maybe a half mile of that projection. That's only one step of the 3 steps on that day. The second event will be an author presentation. I've got with me the book, The British Are Coming, by Rick Atkinson, which is, Rick Atkinson at this point is probably the David McCullough of current times. He's a very well-known historian. This is the first of a trilogy on the American Revolution. The second book on the Revolution is going to be released in April of next year. So a few months prior to our event. That book will be called The Fate of the Day. We will have Rick Atkinson at an event later that day, a reception where people get to meet him for a price. They'll be able to have an inscribed book provided by Rick Atkinson that tells the story of the second phase of the American Revolution. Our third event will be at Lake George High School, where Rick Atkinson will be sitting down with a local media personality who will interview him in front of the general public. The public can ask questions. And again, people can purchase the Rick Atkinson book if they'd like at that event. What I've got Otherwise, I think we're looking at those three events as a holistic kickoff, if you will, of a lot's going to happen with the 250th anniversary. And again, notwithstanding that the high publicity we've all seen from Saratoga County about the battles of Saratoga, we'll be first, and we'll be joining with Saratoga, Washington, and the other counties in the region, and ultimately be part of a highly publicized train, if you will, that goes from Warren County all the way to Boston in late 2025, early 2026. Our other partners, I want to also note, will be the New York State Military Museum, from which we expect to receive canon and perhaps reenactors. We'll be employing reenactor types from throughout the Northeast who will be coming to greet Knox as he arrives at the head of Lake George, and have a whole series of fun events, again, for the public, for young people, to kind of just kind of reinforce the importance of the history of Warren County, and to let folks know that, you know, we are taking this very serious. In addition to being a recreational hub and a fun hub, that we're an important part of American history. Thank you.
Any questions? All right, seeing none, thank you.
Thank you so much. Lake George Music Festival.
Hi, good morning. I'm Alexander Lombard. I'm the founder and CEO of Lake George Music Festival. So Lake George Music Festival, you may know, is the classical music festival in Lake George. It's also an artist retreat for young professionals and celebrated classical musicians from around the country. We're in residence at Fort William Henry Hotel, and we present at the Carriage House. I wanted to highlight three elements to this year's application. Number one is June. So historically, this festival has been in August, has been in the peak tourism season every year in August. For our 15th year season, 15th anniversary, are moving to June. So June 8th through June 19th, 2025, and then May 31st to June 11th in 2026. The reasons for moving to a shoulder season like June is numerous. It's noted in our application, but really, in summary, moving to June is where the festival can grow. So the idea here is right after America to have Lake George Music Festival, two signature events to start off the season and fill hotel rooms. Specifically, we're going to fill the hotel rooms with cultural tourists. I've heard a lot about that today, but this is an audience that I feel is in Lake George specifically maybe slightly underrepresented. It's a great audience. It's an audience that's been proven to spend more and stay longer. And specifically, classical music patrons are very loyal. They return from year to year. And we've done a pretty good job at recruiting that audience, even in August, which is a very tough time to get our audience to actually come to a festival. June will have a much easier time. And the last thing I wanted to mention, I hesitated to even mention it because I know it's historically not a scoring criteria for occupancy tax, and that's the resident benefit. I think this Lake George Music Festival and the arts and classical music is something that we can be proud to host in Lake George. We can be proud to host an event like this that really mirrors the beauty of Lake George, and it mirrors what we want to be as a community. The people we bring to Lake George, the musicians, the audience, it's a wonderful group of people that I think brings a really unique flavor to Lake George. And with your support and having this event in June, the right time of year, I think it can be a truly a destination event and a signature event for Lake George. So thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Got any questions? All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Lake George Steamboat Company.
It's good afternoon now. I'll be brief. I'm sure you guys are getting hungry. Again, George Normandin with Normandin Marketing, representing our friends at Lake George Steamboat Company. 2017, the late great Mr. Dow tasked son Luke and myself with coming up with an idea to celebrate their 200th year anniversary at Lake George Steamboat Company. And music brings people together, and we did a music festival. It's been very successful every year. we've been able to pull people from all over, all walks of life from, Vermont, Connecticut, Jersey, again, from where we market south to try to bring new blood here, for folks that want to come here and visit here and try to do our part to, impact the arts and modern culture here in our area. We've been very successful with this event. This year, we actually have a commitment letter from the previous year because we got a little smarter to book these big bands in advance. And we have an amazing headliner that we anticipate is going to rock it. And our goal with this event is to make it a two-day event. But obviously, there's a huge philanthropic component to this, where last year we were able to give our veterans at the VFW, or the American Legion rather, from Lake George, $18,000 from the proceeds. Now, please note, this isn't a moneymaker for the Dow family. This is kind of more of a community service-based thing. They are sacrificing some revenue, lots of revenue actually, by shutting down the steamboats for the day, because there's no cruises for the day for safety reasons, obviously, and for just logistics in terms of getting people back and getting the whole stage set up and everything. We're asking just the same budgetary amount, and I guess Heather, Paul, you guys could clarify. I think it was a 10,000 from the county, and then 5,000 from the town, 5,000 from the village. I believe it was a joint thing, right? Correct?
I'm not 100%.
Was that what it was last year? Okay.
No, the town gave you 5,000. The town, I don't know what you got from the village, but the town gave you 5,000.
And then it was, the total that we're asking for is just the 20,000. So basically, and again, that goes directly to marketing and for the artist, because they're substantial. The artists are, we've had Goose, we've had Twiddle. We've had some amazing artists that are just, top shelf in their class for jam, blues. This year, we're having a variety of music artists, regional artists too, from Wild Adriatic, The Switch, Lake George Boys, Johnny Saris's band. And we do a great job really culminating our local hotels. Obviously, Jen at the Holiday Inn has been wonderful. The only challenge we have in July, of course, being track season, is just finding enough hotel rooms for the people that are asking us for them. So build more hotels. Just kidding. But any questions for me?
Any questions?
Yeah.
You have room nights at 0.
I saw that too.
It's clear to everybody. It does put heads in bed. It does.
It does, yeah. And I think Luke did the application this year, and I think that was just a simple oversight on his behalf.
Get that to us. That would be helpful.
Sure can. Yep. I know for a fact there's impact there. I know Jen can provide that, a Holiday Inn, as well as we block off just for the artists, a huge block of things. Kathy's very good to us at the Fort and so on. In the Sagamore, and we have overflow at the lodges of Crest Haven, and even far as up to North Creek, when we fill up in the village. So, yep. Anybody else with any questions?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Lake George Winter Carnival.
Good afternoon. I think for the sake of these meetings, we should change our name to the Adirondack Winter Carnival. We can be one of those. This year, I wanted to just start off, I was streamlining as well, like Tanya had said she was doing, just to try to make our presentation short and sweet. I would like to highlight some of our additionals. I think you're all familiar with what we normally do with the Winter Carnival. We are a 4-weekend event historically. We are looking this year to be adding a few key components to our carnival. So I'm going to bullet them out for you. This year, we're going to be doing Friday night welcome parties, and we are looking to spearhead that with the county, which will be exciting. And that'll be welcoming tourists to try to extend on and getting more than just one night of a weekend, two nights preferably, for a Friday night. The other thing that we're planning to do is have our pop-up events. We want to have sporadic pop-up events throughout the year, trying to make our presence known so people are familiar with the Lake George Winter Carnival in the summer. There's a lot of visitors in our summer region that we've noticed through our distribution of our booklets that we do every year that are not familiar that we exist in the winter time and that these events do take place. So we want to make sure that that is known, and we will have some events throughout the year. Let's see. In addition to that, we're looking to extend our carnival one weekend, going to the 5 weekends, which means that'll bring us through March 2nd to 3rd, because there is that gap where we don't have a lot in our community. The Warren County area, that's just
It's a nice segue, we feel, to the St. Patrick's Day and Mardi Gras time. So we want to try to make that a nice, smooth transition. We also are looking to do stuff throughout the President's Week. We have already started with presenting comedy shows, sleddings, a soapbox derby, lots of family activities, and also working with the village to utilize the ice rink and some other events, because we do have our families that come to our region for that President's Week, but they look for stuff to do throughout the week. And our Winter Carnival is typically a Saturday and Sunday event. So we do want to do stuff throughout the week. We've added new events over the past few years, and we're continuing to grow those as far as reaching our Warren County demographic, because we are taking relationship to understanding this is not just the Lake George Winter Carnival, that it is Warren County. We are expanding our 518 Jeeping event to the whole Warren County region, so expanding north to south. That event has grown, and it's going to be our 3rd annual event. It's a big event, so we're excited about that. One of the other areas of involvement that I wanted to do was just talking about how the village can create more activities, again, that are family friendly, a lot of free events. So people do not have to come here and continue to spend money, because that is a big thing, right? We want them to come and spend money in the restaurants, at the hotels, our shopping facilities, but to have to spend money on numerous events as well, it can be draining to families. So we're really trying to make our focus be with that as well. I think that is it. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's not it. We have another major event. I'm sorry. The New York State Lumberjack Association, we're currently working with, forgetting that, and that's a big one. We are looking for that last weekend at March 2nd and 3rd, currently in the planning stages with the Lumberjack Association, and the Chamber is working diligently with us on that. It's a huge group, and they want to come, and they want to be able to set up and have, we talked about a 1-day or a 2-day, and we've decided we'd like the 2-day event to span that weekend. So that'll be a great big event. It'll be something great to bring to our community as well.
Any questions? Oh, all right, thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you all for your continued support.
Thank you. Lake Theater Production.
I'm going to recuse myself. It takes place the Holiday Inn. Senior review.
Huh?
I was waiting for Lake George Dinner Theater, and I thought, oh my gosh, we're not on the schedule. Anyway, hi, my name is Sharon Reynolds. I am representing the Lake George Dinner Theater, Lake Theater Production, under the umbrella of Lake Theater Productions. The Lake George Dinner Theater has been entertaining folks in Lake George since 1968, although I've only been there since 1976. So I can say that we have a lot of longevity here, and and I think now we are only one of 9 existing professional dinner theaters in the country. So we hold that, and we're also the smallest. So I don't know how important that is, but it's a big deal as far as we're concerned. Also, I think that our success is greatly due to the fact that we are in association with the Holiday Inn, and they do all the cooking, and we just do the acting. So that's a great symbiotic relationship. I can say that we're just beginning to come back from the pandemic, because we were shuttered down for 2 years. So attendance is definitely increasing. And this past year, we went up 12% to almost 6,000 attendees to the theater. We operate from mid-July to mid-October. And so our season next year will be July 11th through October 11th. And we have determined that our audience came from over 35 different states in the United States and Canada this last year. So we are trying to track it. Like the other theaters have said, it's a little bit difficult for us, but we're trying very hard to track where people are coming from and if they're staying overnight. We know that some of them are. A great deal of our business, though, is definitely bus groups, and that business has been very healthy for us over the years. People are beginning to come back to traveling in groups, so that's great, because that's about 25 to 30% of our business is groups from all over the place. So I will say that we are asking for $15,000 this year, mainly for marketing purposes. Of course, our expenses, all the expenses have gone up, and up, and the ticket price only covers just a small portion of that. So we do need to continue to find ways to increase, be able to pay our bills and keep the ticket price down for our folks. So we are asking for 15,000 mainly for marketing purposes. I just want to say one thing, having gone to a theater in Massachusetts yesterday, and our season just closed a couple of weeks ago. I'm there for at least 3 or 4 of the 7 performances a week, and I'm greeting the audience. I'm bringing them in to sit down. I'm talking to them after they come out, and I think the joy of bringing live theater to folks and making them feel good is the greatest reward we have. So we are hoping to ask for your help in funding that joy to continue to bring it to our patrons. Thank you.
Any questions? Seeing none? Aaron, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Vinny, if you're out there, you can come back in. Lawrence and Cooper. This is for Thursday Market and Food Truck Corral.
Hi there, Eric Unkoff, Lawrence and Cooper, probably better known as the Shirt Factory. The Thursday Market and Food Truck Corral started in 2017. It's a family-friendly event with a lot of free and low-cost activities for the kids. We've grown it from 1 lot in 2017 to 4 lots in the Shirt Factory neighborhood of Glens Falls today. And what we're looking to do is we've become very well known for having a high quality and diverse selection of food with about 40 to 50 food vendors per night and about 80 to 90 total vendors per night. And we have 3 stages of live music every week, which works out to 51 acts per year that we're booking. But what we're seeking to do is book a little bit better known acts that maybe come from a little bit further afield that don't play regularly in the Lake George, Glens Falls area, so that the musical acts themselves will become more of a draw, and we can use that fact to market those acts to attract more people to the venue. And with the goal of being able to support a 5th lot of vendors, if we can support a 5th lot of vendors, then the revenue, brought in from that 5th lot will balance out the additional cost of the additional music or the improved musical acts, so that hopefully next year I'm not coming back and asking for additional funds. Hopefully this is, a one-off thing here to get us to the point where we can, it's a chicken and the egg problem, so to speak. So if we can get the money to attract better music, which we can attract more attendance and support more vendors, then hopefully it becomes a self-sustaining thing, and that's it.
Thanks.
Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Lower Adirondack Pride.
Good afternoon again. Cam Cardinelli, President and Event Director for Lower Adirondack Pride. We're coming to you to ask for $20,000 this year. We have not applied to occupancy tax funds in the past. 2025 will be our 3rd year presenting this festival. It's grown from 1,500 attendees the first year, 6,000 last year. 400 room nights, and we do not receive any city funding. This year we had attendees from all 62 counties in New York State, 13 different states overall. We partner with I Love New York, Lake George Chamber, Adirondack Chamber, And this is strictly to cover marketing expenses, event expenses cover itself, but we want to run a pretty large marketing campaign for 2025.
Where's it being held?
Glens Falls City Park.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Can you make sure Paul had your updated numbers? The numbers that you read
Yep.
were the same. I just want to make sure.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lower Adirondack Regional Arts Council.
Hi, hello, I'm Phil Casabona, the Executive Director of LARAC. LARAC is a annual June Arts Festival, which we have been doing for 53 years. We look at it as a legacy event for LARAC, as well as for the community in the region. This is the third year that LARAC has asked for Warren County occupancy tax. We were granted in the past 2 years. For 2025, we have increased that ask. Previously has been directly toward our marketing budget. With your funds the past 2 years, we were able to triple what that marketing budget was. In this year, 2024, we felt that we had the biggest patron crowd we have had in the 10 years that I have been putting this festival on for LARAC. And with that, we are asking for increased money to continue our marketing, Vermont, New England, Capital Region, Hudson Valley, basically 4 or 5 hour region to help boost some more overnight stays. And the additional ask, so that would be about 15,000. The rest of that ask is going toward infrastructure support. We do receive some money from the city of Glens Falls previously to applying for occupancy tax. Now, the past 2 years being granted through Warren County, that ask that has been about 5,000 from the city, we are putting toward our December festival that happens on December 8th, the same weekend as the Collaborative's Adirondack Winter Festival. So that additional ask is to, health and hygiene and wellness, porta potty increase, security increase, and things of that nature. We bring about 15,000 people is what we marked it at around this year. It's a free event. That's one of our staples. One thing I do not want to waver on. I want to make this free to our community and our region and our patrons from all over the area. We had about 170 vendors last year, so 155 artists, and the rest were nonprofits and food trucks. Any questions?
All right, seeing none. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, yes, have a good one.
You too.
For your previous support, and Lisa's wonderful, by the way. I just want to say she's been blessed. Good luck, everybody.
Marcella Semper.
I wasn't sure if I was going to be asked. Hello, my name is Ginny. I'm the Director of Administration for the Sembrick and Bolton Landing. As I'm sure many of you know, we are a museum and performance space, and we put on an annual summer music festival with over 25 events that run from June through the end of August. This is the third year we've asked for Warren County support, so thank you for your past support. We are again asking for 20,000, and we also plan to ask for the support from the town of Bolton, which we have in the past also. I think probably all the details of the events are in the application, so I'm happy to answer any questions.
Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in. Next is the New York State Coroner Medical Examiner Association.
I'm Connie Getter. I'm a Warren County coroner. This year, we were fortunate enough to get the conference to come to Lake George. We've been trying for years, and with the changing in the laws and everything, with the credits having to be, it's only going to grow. And this will be the first time we're asking and trying to make it the outstanding one to bring everybody back here. We're going to be mandated by law to go to all these classes. This is an educational thing. Unfortunately, it's not out for the sightseeing. It's days and Saturdays and Sundays sitting in a classroom with our evenings after 5:30 at night to ourselves. So that's why we're here. We want to do a lot of advertising and going out to all New York State and invite them here. We also are opening it to the police departments and EMS this year also.
Any questions?
Yeah, where's this gonna be?
It's going to be Fort William Henry. We have, right now, we have secured 75 to 100 rooms for the weekend.
Right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Northeastern District Association of Chapters. Oh,
Yes, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Bob Bradley.
Yes.
I'm the Vice President of Events for the Barbershop Harmony Society for the Northeast District. In the first weekend in May, we're having an event in Warrensburg High School and junior high school and high school. We rent the high school for Friday night and for Saturday in that first weekend in May. We've been coming up here for 7 years, and we've been in various places around Warren County. And at this time, we will be in Warrensburg. We bring about between 400 and 500 people to the event. We're singers. We sing a cappella music. The Barbershop Harmony Society is an international organization that was founded in 1938. And we have men and women now at the time. We've gone co-ed, which has been the greatest thing for us. We have at the school, the Parents Association on Saturday supplies food, and we've always made between $1,000 and $2,000 for a school organization by feeding us on Saturday. They get all of that money. The money that we get from the Warren County, we go to pay for international entertainment to come over here. We have judges who come in from all over the world. Last time when we were up here last year, we had a judge from Germany. We had one from England. The time we were here before, we had a judge from Scandinavia. We do a contest, and on Saturday nights we do a show. Diane Brooks is our local coordinator for the event here. She's from Glens Falls. And we've booked an international quartet again this year. And the show will be on Saturday night. All of our events are open to the public, even though the Warrensburg Auditorium holds only a very limited number of people. For quite a few years, we spoke with the mayor of Lake George. We have to be inside. Listening to all the events here, we're one of the only events that must be inside because of the sound. We tried it in the park one year to see what it would sound like, and a few motorcycles went by. And then the horn went off for the ship, and we decided that we couldn't use that. We have to be inside. And we spoke to him for years about finding a larger venue, but it hasn't worked out. So that's why we're here, and we will be here again. If some of you can remember Bolton Landing, where the barbershoppers came back every year to sing. We do 4-part a cappella harmony, and we'd just like to invite everyone to come to our event. And again, it's the first weekend in May. We sell out the Surfside Hotel. We do it for Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. And they've been extremely glad to have us there. It works out perfectly for us. So thank you. Any questions? Yeah, hold on. Go ahead.
He stole my thunder. Wouldn't you know that? I just wanted to say, and I don't know if Bob did say it, we're a nonprofit organization, so we're all no pay. We do all of this because we're crazy, but we love what we're doing. And I truly love bringing events up to the North Country. That's where I've lived. That's grown up, and this is where I want to be. And bringing international groups here is very important to me. And the community. And I can tell you this year, I was able to get our July winners, international winners, 2024, which is what you're looking at now. And just so that you know, the person on the right-hand side on that bottom picture has been a 5-time international champ. He has sung every part. So his knowledge is incredible. They come up on Thursdays. We reach out to our schools and bring them into the schools so they can perform and answer questions or do whatever the music educators want of them. So we bring them in to local. We expand our PR marketing. We're from actually from Newfoundland is our furthest extent, but all New England states, Montreal, down New England, over to New York State, and down through to Poughkeepsie is our whole region. So it's a whole big region to pull from. And I also promote it in the Mid-Atlantic District, which is south of Poughkeepsie, in the Seneca Land District, which is Western New York. So we promote it all over. It's been wonderful. The president of our district did a survey this year, asking the members what they liked and what they would change and all of that. And their first comment was keep Western District here as it is. They like the international level, which they all don't get to hear often, if at all. So that's why I do what I do, is to bring that level to us, our area. So thank you. I appreciate all of you.
Any questions?
Is this your first time?
No, we were here last year and asking for the same amount.
Did you get the same amount?
Yes.
Thought I'd throw that in. You said you do it at Warrensburg School. Do you charge admission to show?
Yes. Yep, we do. But being nonprofit, whatever we get goes back into whatever the bills are and so forth. But I will say that we submit bills here, and if we can't justify it, we don't get it, and that's fair.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Primetime lacrosse?
Prime time, let's go on. Yeah.
Yes.
Good morning. Thank you all for your time here. My name is Joe Myers. I'm here on behalf of Primetime Lacrosse and our National Invitational event, which is a boys lacrosse tournament that we've hosted here in the area for a number of years now. For a little bit of background on this most recent year, we had 194 lacrosse teams ranging from elementary school up through high schoolers that competed in the event here in the area. On the weekend that we had it this past year was July 19th, 20th, and 21st. Dates would be the same in 2025. Of those 194 teams, they were traveling in from over 20 states and Canadian provinces to multiple venues where we hosted games across the area, as you can see sort of what I've listed. Apologies, I'm just trying to be as brief as possible. And the event has sold out in the last 3 years. So that's kind of one thing that's crucial in our request is that we're looking for more field space to be able to bring more people in, because we have had a wait list. We've been able to, with the support of the committee here, we'd be able to find additional field space. And we've even kicked around the idea of running an additional event, like bringing in the girls lacrosse component as well on a completely separate weekend, which we're excited about the prospect of. And among those people that have traveled in for the event, we estimate in our experience, about 65 to 85% of those attendees all do require booking space overnight for overnight accommodations. So it's a huge driver in why we're here and why we're asking for the committee's support. Because we've kind of found no matter where we host the games across the county, that people love to stay in this area, especially close to Lake George, just with everything that it has to offer, especially looking at our customers and our attendees. It's primarily middle to upper middle class. Full families traveling in for the youth sports component. So they've just taken a loving to this area, and we love running the event here. And everything that the tourism industry has to offer definitely is appealing to our attendees. And we really appreciate the support of the committee sort of moving forward. Questions?
Is this your first time here?
Personally, yeah. Our company has been here in the past. I know we weren't here last year. I'm not sure how recently. I believe 2 years ago our company was here, but personally, my first time in front of you.
And these teams that come, do they just play one game?
So they have 5 games across Saturday and Sunday, and we run recruiting showcases for high school players that Friday before starting in the early afternoon. So we're going to go ahead and see.
And where are the fields that you're using?
We've used the Ridge Jenkinsville Park and Harry Batar Recreational Park. On one of our slides here, we've used almost half a dozen spaces across the county in the past, including multiple facilities in Saratoga. But kind of as I mentioned, kind of no matter where we end up locking in those field spaces, that our attendees love to stay right here in the area.
They've used the elementary school as well as the Lake George Rec Center.
Mhm.
Because ACC just did their fields over.
They weren't ready for them in advance yet.
And what about some of the local high schools? Would they be?
We have in the past, I believe Lake George, like she said, she mentioned the elementary school. And it's definitely something we, love to consider.
All right, Dave, all right, thank you.
Thank you so much. Silver Bay YMCA.
Hello, my name is Walt Lender. I'm the VP for Development and Government Relations at Silver Bay, located in Hague, New York on Northern Lake George. It's nice to be back here in the county building and see some familiar faces when I used to spend a lot more time here. So Silver Bay has traditionally hosted a summer live music series, doing a series of concerts throughout the high season, the main season, including the Glens Falls Symphony Orchestra, which is always a delight of the summer. But we're expanding into truly becoming a year-round operation. So we started to host some programming on shoulder season weekends. So we've started a weekend-long Bluegrass in Heaven music festival, a series of concerts, headliner bands, and including workshops and some time with the performers. And it's been successful. We've received county money from here the last 2 years. We've been very happy with the success of the program, and we hope to continue expanding it.
Thank you.
Any questions, Walt?
Does Silver Bay give you any kind of help?
Silver Bay is the organization hosting it, Silver Bay YMCA, yes.
So do they give you any funds?
Well, it is part of what we do as Silver Bay YMCA.
Okay.
Are you asking if the town?
Well, I was wondering if Hague gives you any money.
Oh, if Hague gives us, I don't believe we've asked Hague to support it at this point. I know we do get some support from the Ticonderoga Festival Guild and some private donors.
All right. No other questions? Thank you, Walt.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Six Flags Great Escape Resort. Or yes. Right.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. I'll only take about 30 or 40 minutes. Just kidding. I know we're coming to the end here. I want to introduce myself. I'm Andrew Bergrath, the Director of Operations for Six Flags Great Escape Resort. I'm here to talk about Oktoberfest. It's one of our seasonal events here at the theme park, bringing economic benefits to the community each and every year. Each year, Oktoberfest welcomes thousands of visitors who come to enjoy our German-inspired cuisine, varieties of food, local entertainment, and vendors. It's just not about fun, though. It's about our community impact. We anticipate welcoming over 44,000 visitors. This year, we were just shy of 44, coming from Plattsburgh, Montreal, Albany, as far as New York City as well. So we're requesting 25,000 in funding as we have a clear plan to utilize it, 15,000 for marketing, advertising, social media campaigns, and some paid search. And then the remainder we would look to put towards some infrastructure for the event itself, some, local crafts and brews and inviting those guys back out. Ultimately, the investment in the community, increasing visibility of Oktoberfest, enhancing the guest experience. We're not just encouraging attendance. Obviously, we're encouraging an investment into our local businesses and the community itself. So I thank you for your time. I know it's short and sweet, but I'm happy to answer any questions you guys may have.
Thank you.
Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Take care, guys.
Special Olympics, New York. Anyone?
Bueller.
Okay, going on to next, Warren County Historical Society. I have these.
Yep, you do.
Good afternoon. My name is Stan Sanfrano, and I'm the county historian. I'm president of the Warren County Historical Society, and I'm treasurer of the
commission for celebrating the 250th anniversary of New York, of the Revolution in New York. And with me is John Berry, the Queensbury Town Historian, who chairs the commission. I can be short and sweet because I'm telling you that the money we're asking for is for a full year, 2025, the start of the anniversary of the American Revolution, which goes for 8 years. But we partner with the state, with the contiguous counties and various organizations. You heard from the Lake George Battlefield Park Alliance. We have 9 things that we plan on using the money for. 1 is lectures and programs. 2 is musicians. 3 is history days, working to develop some things for the local schools. 4 is social media, using social media to get our word out. Print advertising, number 5. Number 6 is merchandise. We've purchased some shirts and hats for sale, and when we have a speaker come in, we usually buy some of their books for sale. 7 is flyers and brochures, getting the word out. 8 is working with Alex Portal, who is a local reporter for the Post-Star and a cartoonist. He's doing a book for us, a graphic novel for us. And then some money for displays that would go into the museum or elsewhere to advertise and help. So if you have questions, I'll answer them.
All right, seeing none, thank you.
Thank you so much. Warrensburg Chamber of Commerce, world's largest garage sale.
Suzanne Tyler, Warrensburg Chamber of Commerce. I'll make this very short and sweet for you guys. We're celebrating our 45th world's largest garage sale this year. We're asking for an award of $37,500, a little bit more than last year. We are going to, our plans this year are actually to update our website and additionally invest in more marketing towards bus tours and Western New York. Questions? Yes.
How much does Warrensburg give you?
On the average over the years, they've given us anywhere from 1,500, or not 1,500, sorry, 1,500 to 2,500.
Oh, tell Garrity needs to give you more.
Tight ship. If we need it, he gives it to us.
No other questions? All right, thank you. Short and sweet.
So much, we appreciate it. Is West Mountain here? Thank you.
I'm Cannery Pond. I think I may be of the end to the list.
Paul might be printing yours out because it didn't make it into the.
Thank you.
West Mountain, are they here? I was told they may not come. World Awareness Children's Museum. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I've got my stopwatch going, so I'll be short. My name is Bethany Lawrence. I'm the executive director of the World Awareness Children's Museum in Glens Falls. We're coming up on our 30th anniversary year. We were founded in 1995. So in 2025, we're celebrating 30 years of being the only children's museum in New York that celebrates multicultural education as its main mission. We are also the largest collection of international youth artwork in the state, the second largest in the country. We have over 8,000 pieces of international child-made artwork dating back to 1988, and it informs everything that we do at the Children's Museum in terms of our programming, our exhibitions, and our offsite programming, which is why I'm here today. So my application is for the Beyond the Exhibit series, and we're asking $7,500 to assist us in marketing. This program is in its 2nd year, and we will be bringing international performers and different performers of different cultural backgrounds to the Wood Theater to offer as a series to local residents throughout Warren County and the New York State Capital Region. Our museum welcomes over 8,000 visitors per year, 70% of which are visiting from outside of Warren County. So we have a strong attendance record. We have trust within the community, and we're hoping that Warren County can get on board with these programs and join us in making Glens Falls and Warren County a cultural tourism destination.
Thank you so much.
Any questions? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Zonta Club Foundation of Glens Falls.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very happy to be here representing Zonta Club of Glens Falls. My name is Lorraine Abbas. We are a local nonprofit. We've been in existence since 1924. As a foundation, I'm sure you know all of the money we make from any events that we sponsor goes back into the community. We do that through partnering with agencies. We also offer scholarship programs for students in need. Then we have projects that directly affect our mission, which is to build a better world, specifically for women and girls. The Arts, Crafts, and Curiosities Fair is in its 4th year in its current location, which is City Park in Glens Falls. Last year, occupancy tax from Warren County gave us $3,500. That money was used pretty much exclusively for promotion, which we've never had a budget to really do. And we were also able to pay for entertainment and social media advertising. This year, we're asking for an increase of $500 to hire a professional graphic designer, also to improve our hygiene capacity as we were running out of porta potties for people to use. I'm estimating we didn't have the infrastructure to know how many rooms people may have rented, but we do know that people came because it's Mother's Day weekend. May 11th and 12th last year, the 10th and 11th this year. Shoulder season in Glens Falls and the area is typically not a time when a lot of people are in the area. We did have great crowds, especially on Saturday. It was a beautiful day. People were coming, families were there. We also had a lot of children's activities. We partnered with the World Awareness Museum and the Hyde Collection. So we did a passport where people came to each event and were entered into a drawing. We're hoping to expand that this year to bring more people to downtown, but also to the Lake George region. Thank you for your support, and if you have any questions.
Thank you.
Questions? Right, thank you.
Thank you.
I do want to go back. I know we have Tannery Pond, but I do want to go back to the Adirondack X.
That's me.
Excellent. That's what I thought you were.
Where was that? Where,
Yes, please.
where
That
was
was the
that?
very first
I
application.
know, I'm like.
It's okay.
I apologize. I had to have an fMRI and I'm literally watching it. I'm like, please don't call me first. Thank you.
You're-
You don't have to worry now. That's all right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for doing this today. I'll try to be quick because I know you guys got a lot of other things to do. All right, so Adirondack Act, Steve Green, we've been open for 5 years. First question I have, has anybody visited me?
Are you in the mall?
One, we are in the mall.
I've been by.
So only one? Two? All right, come on, fellas, you gotta get up here. You're killing me over here, all right? All right, so I would always encourage you to go out and start just doing a little research on axe throwing. There's a lot of information out there. The nice thing about it's kind of the big version of darts on steroids. The axe throwing community is very a dedicated community. They tend to travel a lot. They spend a lot of money. They do like to drink. I will be honest with you, because I've been on a few benders on some tournaments and you wake up anyway. So the nice thing about this event, I think it's something different that the area might need. Okay. It can definitely
develop into an annual event. We're gearing for the end of summer. But one of the challenges that I am having right now is that with the two major federations being the World Axe Throwing League and the National or International Axe Throwing Federation, they do not drop their calendars until early in 2025. So I really can't set a date. I think the end of August is going to be good, but I'm not going to have a firm deadline until then. So I just wanted to be honest with you guys up front. Okay. Most of these events do go anywhere from 3 to 4 days. It's usually anywhere from 300 to 400 competitors plus families. Like I said, they do spend a lot of money. They do look for things to do. For whatever reason, most of these competitors have gotten huge into disc golf. I personally don't like it, but that's just me. But that could be something else that we could look at organizing, because we do have a couple great courses here locally. Along with that, obviously food trucks, craft vendors, games and entertainment for the kids. We typically do with these large events have a big end of event or tournament function. So what does that look like? Maybe something on the boats, maybe something locally at a hotel, a big banquet, etc. Let me see here, just going through my notes here. I did in the application, I did drop a PowerPoint. There was some information in there for you. One of the events I would suggest taking a look at is an event called Gotwood. I know some of the stuff is kind of crazy, the words they come up with, but anyway, they've been doing this out in Tulsa. I had the privilege of going once. They did it actually on the Riverwalk, what they call in Tulsa. Fantastic event. Outdoors. I think the event I went to had well over 600 competitors. It's just a generally good time. They do, like I said, they do spend a lot of money when they're there. Now, the nice thing about these types of events is that you are really advertising to a specific group. So we don't have to spend a huge amount of advertising dollars. We don't have to do a lot, because if we're in the community, I'm connected with personally 3,000 individual axe throwers, and then owners groups, things like that. So we have a very targeted group, and those are the people who are going to come. So you build those relationships. We're looking mostly in the Northeast. So really where you look, obviously New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. I believe they will come as far as from Virginia and Ohio. And we're looking New Hampshire. We may get some stragglers from Texas. They do travel if it's a big enough event. So unlike, I think, some of the other events that are up here asking for money, which, and again, I'm not trying to criticize by any means, with events like this, the first year usually is most expensive, because we have build outs, things of that nature, things that, like construction and things like that. All those items we can reuse following years. So if we're privileged enough to get some money to do this event and it goes over well, if I come back the following year, I'm going to be asking for less, if that makes any sense, because we don't need to repurpose money. We don't need to keep rebuilding, asking for additional things that we already have. Okay.
Any questions? Mr.
Yep.
Bean?
I think that's it, unless I missed something, but just kind of a generic.
All right, Mr. Bean?
Yes.
Where's this being held?
One of the challenges that I'm having right now is since I don't have the calendar out there, I have a couple ideas. It's either Lake George, Queensbury area. I can't. Yeah, I know it's kind of a little generic, and I did put some in the PowerPoint. I did put some suggestions. I just can't commit to anything yet because I don't know what the calendar is. And if I say, hey, I want to do this, and their master calendar comes out with a championship series, then I have to start adjusting and moving things around. Okay. So again, I know mine's not probably as clean as some of the other ones, but I won't have solid answers until probably mid-January, early February.
Okay.
On the exact dates that we would like to do this.
Ms. Runyon, I swear.
That was my same question.
Same question, okay. All right, thank you.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a good day, guys. Thank you.
And the last is the one that was just handed out, the Tannery Pond Center for Arts, Education and Community.
Just gave it to you. Yeah, it's got this.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Hionis, and I am the Director of Development for Tannery Pond Art Center in North Creek. This is our first time asking for a grant, and it is for our concert series in 2025 over the summer. It's a series of 8 concerts, And we are asking for $5,000. And it is to pay for the artist fees. And in these concert series, we find that many local people attend, but also some residents and tourists. And we put heads in beds via the artists staying over and naturally their families and their fan members coming to town. We are dedicated to enriching lives with quality arts programming, and our concert series are a very important part of that. And I know I'm standing between you and lunch, so I'm going to end there and ask if there are any questions.
Thank you so much.
Any questions?
Yes.
Bolton giving you anything?
Excuse me?
Does Bolton give you any money? In Tannery Pine, isn't that?
No, that's us. That's Johnsburg.
Oh, it's Johnsburg.
Johnsburg, yeah.
Yes, and we have applied to Johnsburg as well for advertising dollars for another series of concerts, and particularly the Beckrells doing their very first Christmas concert in Tannery Pond, and that is standing room only every time they've been. But they're doing their first Christmas concert with us.
Thanks.
Thank you. No other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you so very
Okay,
much.
thank you very much for your time.
Excellent.
Yep.
Don't even have any hotels
that?
up there.
I know, that's the problem.
Referrals?
No.
All right, there's no referrals. Privilege to the floor, public, nothing? All right, motion to adjourn?
I have a question.
Yes.
I keep hearing all these groups are having food trucks.
Mhm.
Do the food trucks have to pay a permit to do these functions at these different locations?
Every town that I know of is different. In Lake Luzerne, we have a $25 night permit.
Because
But they don't pay us any rent, a commission or anything for what they make.
yeah.
That's just Lake Luzerne.
So there is, I mean, and they collect sales tax also?
I'm assuming they do.
I don't know. I mean, that's just, a question maybe.
A lot of them take
Element
credit
can-
cards and stuff, so I'm assuming they do. But I can't.
I sold my food truck, so I don't.
Well, I mean, isn't it like a mandatory thing that they would have to? I'm just wondering how we keep a track of it.
As a business, they should.
Yeah, but how do we keep track that they're here in our municipalities and
It's
It's through it's through their submissions through sales tax.
okay.
So how we keep track of it, I don't believe that there is an entity within this.
Well, you
Maybe
can
they
see my
could
point, because they're kind of going up against the brick and mortar buildings and stuff. And I don't have a problem with food trucks, but I do think that they should be, doing their fair share also.
Tax returns are filed with the New York State Department of Taxation and Finance. They are confidential documents. We would not have access to what's filed with the state of New York. Whether the municipality would want to have some kind of document that they understand they have to comply with it, that would be up to the
When
individual town.
are we gonna come back to this?
At the county level, there's nothing we can do.
But when they
to
file,
determine who's filing, how much they're filing, and whether it's accurate.
yeah, well, I mean, when they're filing this, we should know that, state should know what municipality is having this extra money coming in. I mean, we're looking for money and, I don't want to see everybody, not have to pay their fair share.
They show a sales tax number, but we don't track it. They do it properly,
Yeah, so we don't know if we get anything from it at all.
We get, like everybody's different, Lake George gets a vending fee.
But you don't hope we get any sales tax money.
No, we assume they do, but we can't tell for sure.
Where's that north?
You don't
get
get
around?
you don't get a breakout by payer. Yeah, we don't get breakdown by it.
You can see my point.
I absolutely see your point, but it's hard to track.
All license.
So next steps is we're gonna take the books. We will do the calculations, and at the next committee meeting, we will present the outcome of the scoring system.
Okay. No. Wait,
For a motion to adjourn.
need a motion to adjourn?
Motion.